What happened to you last night? You said you're gonna call me back. You never called me back. I fell asleep.
No, I didn't fall asleep till like midnight or something. I couldn't fall asleep. I was tired from the night before. But
last time I called you, said you were going to sleep and you called me back and shit. You never called me back.
I was with my bitches. What's with the questions?
What's happening, you beautiful motherfuckers? Monday, June 30th. We're here finally. Shit. Where the fuck you been, Joey? Listen, lately we've been doubling up on the podcast. Guests come in Tuesday night, Wednesday, Mondays. You know, I got to do my shit. I can't do 10 fucking podcasts a week. You people be mad at me. But it was a great weekend in Pasadena. Lee came out Saturday. As usual, he was stoned to the fucking gills, sitting there like a fucking mope. And I kept saying, Lee, you got to get up. He wouldn't fuck. He kept looking at the potato chips.
Oh. No, it's tough. The fight of 3/4 of a greenhorn. I was fucking gone. But no, it was a great time. Everyone was nice. Both shows were sold out. You know what? It's really nice. I always, in this town especially, if someone's nice to me that doesn't have to be, especially, like, I watched Dom Herrera and fucking Seinfeld. If I had gone into how much my mom probably has every episode of Seinfeld memorized. And seeing Dom Herrera, because he was young in Seinfeld, and he was nice. He was messing with me. And it was a lot of fun, so it was great coming out Saturday.
Everybody fucks with you, Lee.
Oh yeah.
Messes with you.
Well, no, but it was. You expect someone like that, like you go in and he say hi and he's in his phone. He has a posse. He was the nicest guy in the world.
No, he's a nice guy. He's a great guy, man. It's amazing that he was here last week, and you know the podcast was a little weird because I was looking at him, and I'm looking at Dom Herrera, thinking to myself, this is one of the guys it's not idolized. I don't know if that's the word. But I watched him. He guided me in the beginning. I guess that's the word. Like I watched that tape, Lee. I can't even tell you. It's embarrassing how many times I watched it.
You showed it to me one of the first times we hung out.
Yeah, it was something that it's your blueprint as a comic. Like everybody has something different. Like when they're a brick mason, they go to some book, or when somebody's in electric. I don't even fucking know what I'm saying. All I do know is when I first started comedy, I didn't know. It's not like you could go up to a comedian and ask him a bunch of fucking questions. So what you have to do is just watch. And that was the tape that was hot to watch. Those were the hot guys, you know. Mm-hmm. When I started comedy, there was so much comedy on television. It was fucking ridiculous. MTV had 2 different stand-up shows. A&E used to have a stand-up show.
Wow.
Fox had a stand-up show in the mornings with Rosie O'Donnell hosting. There was so many different stand-up avenues to go to, you know. So I remember watching Felicia Michaels. In 1992, I remember sitting there in my room and watching Felicia Michaels on Comedy Kamikaze. You know, and you thought that they were big then, that there was more exposure for a comedian back then. Like
so why did it go away?
Because I think people got, stand-up went mainstream. Stand-up went so fucking big for a while. So I think that there was just too much stand-up on television. I don't know what the fuck happened. But when I first started, there was Sunday morning comics with Lenny Clark. He took over for Rosie O'Donnell. There was that Kamikaze. I think MTV had 2 different stand-up shows. And I used to see all those guys, man, whether it was Felicia Michaels, hanging with Mr. Cooper, Tom Rhodes. I remember seeing Doug Stanhope on fucking Evening at the Improv. Evening at the Improv was on A&E. That was on A&E, and Comedy on the Road were on A&E. So every week they went to a different comedy club in the country, and they shot a comedy special with the top comics from that area.
Wow.
So it was pretty interesting. They would go to Tucson. They would go to fucking Houston, Texas. They would go to
that sounds like it would do great now. I'm surprised they're not bringing it back with everything they redo.
Somewhere along the line, the stand-up agenda went somewhere. It was really funny this weekend. Two things were fucking crazy this weekend. I went to the beach yesterday. That was great. You
used to go a lot. You used to go every weekend.
Listen, man, there's no reason to live in California unless you're going to go to the beach. If you really fucking think about it, if you really think about the purpose why you live in California, why don't you pack up tomorrow and go back to Boston?
Yeah,
because it's fucking cold as shit.
Yeah.
The ocean is nice. But the thing, listen, I was in jiu-jitsu maybe 9 months ago on a Friday night. This is when I could go at night. And one of the girls went to North Hollywood High. And I heard her talking. You know, her name is Deborah. She's very nice. She's a young girl, 19, 20. And she went to, and I couldn't even fathom that. Like, I couldn't even fathom that. Like, I drive past that school 8 times a fucking day, and I never even looked at it and fathomed something, like somebody going to school there. Like, my cousins went to school here.
Okay.
You follow me? I have friends that went to school here. I can't fathom that.
Yeah, it must be weird.
Like, it's weird. So I heard her talking, and I heard people from, like, Michigan and somewhere else talking, and it was saying that Sunday they went downtown. It was a nightmare. It was some type of fair. There was a lot of traffic. And I heard her go, I don't know what the fuck you people even do that for. You live in California. The weekends are for the beach. And it really fucking dawned on me. I really started thinking about it. I'm like, she's right. You know, she's fucking absolutely right. So this week, I can't sit around here no more. I just can't leave. I can't fucking do it. If you know anything about me, man, I need action in my daytime, you know, and there's days I get up and I hit like a kettlebell class and I run here, but there's weeks in this fucking business that are just brutally slow. And today I have shit to do, but for the most part, like by Thursday, if I don't go on the road, it's fucking brutal around here. You know, I have things to do, but the gaps are too far and far between. So I'll have something at 9, and then I have something at 1, so I can't even get something in between going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I do is I push it all to the afternoon, and we leave here at 8 in the morning, and that's what we're doing Thursday. We're getting the fuck out of here at 8 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
That's what works. You know, we called, somebody called us last week and said, do you want to go to the beach on Saturday? And we're like, yeah, but Sunday. But the problem is they weren't going to the beach till 11, and they were going to Seal fucking Beach, which is all the way down by fucking Long Beach, which means you don't get on the sand till 12:30 if everything goes correctly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't go for that shit. I like to go on the beach, get it over with, catch the sun before lunchtime, and once 12:30 comes, 12:45, you're fucking out of there. You're done, and you're back on the way back. So that's what I did yesterday, and it was just amazing. Just to sit out there. Just to sit out there for 1 fucking hour took away everything. Like, just to listen to the ocean for 1 fucking hour, Lee. Like, I couldn't even focus on stand-up. I couldn't focus on the podcast. I couldn't focus on my future. I couldn't focus on the book. I couldn't focus on anything. I was trying to think of shit, and I couldn't. The ocean wouldn't let it. It occupied my thoughts. And just to see, it's amazing the strength and the power of the ocean.
Yeah,
like, I lived in Colorado.
Scary.
I lived in Colorado, and I used to go to the mountains, and you sit there, and you could actually feel something from the mountains. And I know you people sitting at home going, Joey, what the fuck are you smoking this morning? No, I'm telling you right now. When you live in Boulder and when you live in Aspen and when you go to Vail and you hike and you get up to those mountaintops, when you just shut the fuck up and close your eyes, you feel something. You feel this energy, this weird energy, like you're tall. You know, you feel something. It's the same. That's the reason why you live in those parts of the country. You know, that's the reason why you live in those parts of the country, to enjoy them. So it's you know me, Lee. You know I fucking hate driving. You know I fucking hate getting in the car on a Sunday and driving. But to go to the beach, I don't mind it. Mm-hmm. The only thing that sucks is you got to go down to Panga Canyon.
That's the worst.
And that thing, and
I get dizzy.
Mercy always gets sick. So I hear her going, I go, Terry, turn around. Terry, turn around. Why? She didn't eat nothing. Terry, turn around. She's going to get sick, I could tell. I even was doing 10 down the mountain. People were going by me, flipping me off. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't want her to get sick, but she gets sick all the time. So I got to go the other way. I got to go up Sunset and loop up fucking the 405, which wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Let me tell you something. The beach is a great fucking place. It really is. And I always forget the power of the ocean. When you just sit there and look at the ocean for a little while, and I was fucking around on stage, people who look at whales. I don't look for whales. I just look for the ocean. I just want to see where that wave originates and what it brings in. And I always look. I don't see... Lee, wake up, cocksucker.
I'm awake.
I don't see no fucking sharks. I never see no fucking whale.
You know what's really cool, though? When they take you on whale watches out here, there's, especially right in, like, Marina Del Rey, like, there's dolphins out there. So I went on one once, and, like, the dolphins follow the boat, and they're doing flips. I have videos of it on my phone. It's fucking amazing. You should take Mercy out. They have, like, hundreds of dolphins just, like, right underneath. They must know the boats are there, and people must give them food or something. And they just follow the boat. When you go out on, like, I love going on boats. It's fucking cool.
I forget, you forget how much you enjoy it. So that's the fucking thought.
Did you go in?
Yeah, I fucking went in. I went up to my waist.
That's fun.
Mercy, the fucking water knocked her over. She was yelling at the ocean. She was pissed off at it.
Cocksucker.
She was yelling at a duck. But it's just great. If you fucking live here, man, you gotta go down there. But then the other thing that I had to talk to you guys about is, it's real important I talk to you about this. When I got arrested, when you get arrested, you don't know what the fuck to do. You know, you really don't. And I kept getting arrested for little things, so I knew to keep my mouth shut. When I got arrested for the big thing, I didn't know what to do either. So I kept my mouth shut. You don't say nothing. And when you get locked up, it's funny, Lee, you get put in a cell with people for 3 days. And I love these people that go to jail and they're like, yeah, I got a new homie. This guy just murdered somebody.
Right.
What are you talking about, your new fucking homie? You don't even know where this guy's from. It's amazing how fast criminals click. And when I got locked up that time, I knew the rule. Shut your fucking mouth, sit in your trailer, whatever the fuck it is, your bunk, and don't say much. I didn't say nothing, you know, and I listened to people's stories and people want to talk to you. But there was one particular guy that was really interesting. And I watched him for a couple of days, and he was, if I was 27 or 26, maybe he was 33 or something like that. And I started talking to him. He was from New York somewhere, Canarsie. Really older guy, you know, whatever. You know, when somebody's not your age, when you're 25, everybody's older, you know. Or that's at least it was to me. If you're not 25, you're fucking an old man. So to me, he was a little older. And we started talking, and he had told me what he had done. He had gotten caught on a drug thing. And they came to him, and they told him that the people he was dealing with were big people, blah, 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 blah. So he knew the area really well. So the feds had gotten involved in this case. So he told the feds that he could buy 10 kilos of coke or some shit.
Do you know they were the feds?
Yeah, he knew they were the fucking feds. This is after he got arrested.
Oh, okay.
The feds came to him and they told him he was going to get 20 years, but that he had to make a buy. So he fucking was out on the street and he told the feds, I'll do the buy for you if I stay out of jail. I mean, it was fucking brilliant. And he made the feds drive him to a house. They gave him cash. And he walked in the front of the house, and he had his buddy waiting for him in the back of the house. And he left through the back door, and he escaped. He escaped with the feds' money. I mean, as smart as the fucking feds are, this so you people know this shit. You know, so you people don't think that it's all like NYPD Blue, that they catch you and all this shit. The feds drove him to the gig. They had other cars there. He went through the front. He did something. He jumped out the back window, and he had a friend waiting for him back there with the money and the blow, and they left. And they caught him 2 years later. Took
him 2 years?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 2 years.
That must have been a fun 2 years.
And he was telling me how, you know, you always keep them. I didn't know the logistics of being inside. And he goes, you don't rat, but you give them something to keep them that you might. And the whole time you're buying time. What this is all about is buying time. Jiu-jitsu is about making a space, is creating a space to get back to your guard. When you push that guy away, you're slipping your knee in there. So you create space. And that's the same thing you're doing when they have you in that room. You know, you're not giving them no information. You're not a rat. But you might throw out there that you know a guy that's got 50 kilos in his house if the deal is right.
All right, I'm going to ask you something, and it's not meant to be offensive. But
Go ahead.
If the guy obviously has been a criminal for a while,
right?
Like to me, hearing it, like, why are you taking advice? It's like taking weight loss advice from a 1,000-pound person. Like why would you take advice, like life advice, from someone who got caught and is in jail and like a criminal? Like, that sounds like a terrible idea.
You become a better criminal when you go to prison.
Okay.
Because now you listen to 10 people tell you how they got caught.
I got that, but weren't you trying not to be a criminal after that?
It wasn't that I was trying not to be a criminal. I'm just trying to survive now.
Okay.
Your goal is to stay out of jail. Your goal is to keep making money. That's your goal.
Okay.
Okay? You're not going to rat on nobody. You know, when the guy that led the Medellin cartel, the guy that ran the Medellin cartel went to prison in New York, and he became friends with all the smugglers. One of them being the guy George Jung. I think that was one of his friends that did blow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. That's it. That was one of his friends that he became friends with, who taught him how to smuggle. When you go to prison, you learn from other. If you have 6 convict friends, they'll tell you their story, and you will be blown away on how they got caught. And you learn things to avoid. So when you're in the drug business, you hang out with people that are in the drug business.
That makes sense, yeah.
Inside jail. And you exchange information. If you ever go through here, don't go through there. You know, and you get away. It's amazing. It's like going to college for criminals.
Ugh.
So
It sounds like that Tom Cruise movie where he woke up every day and just had to do things a little bit differently. I can't imagine having the mindset where you're like, jail is just a way you go. It's like Monopoly jail. You just stop there and you don't go the same way again last time. You're gonna get out and do it again. Like that's a crazy mindset to have.
Lee, when you make the choice, when you look me in the face and go, Joey, I'm done. I'm not gonna edit no more. I got 1,000 customers I could sell coke to. I'm a kilo guy, and I have ounce of guys. And I ask you, what do you make a week? And you told me like $30,000 a week. That's $120,000 a month. That's 1.2 million. That's 1.5 million a year. Okay, in your mindset, you know that there's going to be some time involved. If not, you're a fool. If not, you're a fool. You follow me? If I tell you that after 20 years I'm going to go on stage and do great every set, I'm a fucking fool. I know the percentages that you're going to bomb.
Okay.
And a smart criminal, a smart human being knows percentages. And he knows odds. And he knows what are the odds against him.
Doesn't the government take your money when you go to jail?
Yes, they do.
So how? Okay.
If you have it out laying around. There's people that have tons of money when they go to jail, but they have it so hidden in so many different variations that you don't.
Fuck, because you can't keep it in banks, because then it's just gone.
No, you can't keep it in banks. You can't keep it in safe deposit boxes. You can't really. So you have to have like a mom or an aunt that you trust, somebody that's not going to rob you, that you're going to give some money to, and they're going to hide it really well. And that's all you have.
Fuck. Okay.
And then you have to trust somebody. It's like me giving you $100,000 and going, Lee, I'm going away for 4 years. Have this for me when I get out of jail. Okay, you have to trust somebody. You have to have like a friend.
Yeah.
But you know if you're a good criminal that the percentages are you're going to get nailed. When you have a talk with Gabriel Iglesias, he's the hottest comic in the country. He's a great comedian. But Gabriel will tell you that he works harder now than he'll ever work because of this window. Anybody who thinks they're going to be Louis C.K. forever is confused. Dane Cook, did you think 10 years ago that Dane Cook, you wouldn't hear from Dane Cook today?
No, that's crazy. Yeah.
Did you think that he got a pilot shot last year that didn't even air and got canceled? This is the same Dane Cook. But when you're that hot, you never think that this is going to end. Only somebody smart knows that this ride is going to end. You know, when I got out of jail, I worked at a car wash, and I started robbing with this girl. I told the story on the podcast. We would rob customers. They come in, and when they pay cash, we took the cash from the car wash.
Right.
And she was the cash register girl. I quit that job. That was the first time I ever used my brains in my life, was at the age of 30, because I knew eventually I was going to get caught. And everybody did business at this car wash, so the word was going to get out. So I did something a lot of people don't do. I just quit. I quit while I was making $10,000 a week in there because I knew I was going to get caught. The odds are always against you.
So this was after you went to prison, right?
This is after I went to prison. You know, I was telling Josh Wolf on the podcast last week with him that, you know, when I was doing blow, I got attracted to people who did blow. Anytime a situation came which made blow, I couldn't believe it sometimes. I could not believe it. You know, most people want to meet like a producer to put them in a movie or something, you know what I'm saying? I would meet people who dealt massive amount of blow and would give me blow. It's ridiculous. But when you're in that circle, that's what you fucking keep meeting, you know? It's just such a... So anyway, back to the story about this guy. Mm-hmm. He told me to fuck with them. He goes, fuck with them a little bit, you know? So there was a situation where I fired my first attorney because I got a court-appointed attorney. What happens is when you get arrested with 3 people, all right, and one of them doesn't, the first guy who asks for an attorney, if he doesn't have money to have an attorney, they give him a public defender. That means now you're in the money because you can't have a public defender because it's conflict of interest. Mm-hmm. So that the state has to pay for a real attorney for you.
So you always hold out. You're never the first one to get the public defender?
No, well, I didn't get arrested first.
Yeah.
So Tidwell got arrested first, and he was a Vela, so I came in last. So right away, I knew a public defender wasn't going to have me. I was going to get a good attorney. So the state got this guy, Sonny Flowers, to represent me. He was the first. His grandmother was the first black graduate out of Boulder, Colorado. The guy was a sellout. I'm not saying this because he was black or whatever. The guy was just a seller. He was a black guy amongst 100,000 white people. He had to do what he had to do to survive as an attorney. So the first deal he made at me was 9 years. Violent, like kidnapping too. And I was like, what are you fucking kidding me? First I kept putting it off because it was the holidays. He said, sign the deal now and you won't have to do time till next fucking year. You won't have to turn yourself in until next December. I was like, fuck you. I wanted the witness to disappear. I wanted the witness to get in trouble again. The more the witness got in trouble, the more the witness had problems, it would
benefit you.
Benefit to me. Do you understand me? So I knew. So the moral of the story is when after I fired the attorney, like January, I wanted to buy time. So I went to court on a Monday to get a new attorney. They were going to appoint a new attorney. In the meantime, I was already meeting with attorneys. But it's a funny story. I went to court, and it wasn't Judge Bellapani, the judge who sentenced me. It was a different judge. And the judge told me, he goes, all right, you have 3 weeks to find a new attorney, blah, blah, blah. But my court clerk would like to talk to you. So she wants to get some information from you. So after the thing, go in the back.
Okay.
So I'll never forget that I sat down, and Lee, I didn't expect this at all. It was a fucking shock to me. It was a Monday morning. It was 9 in the morning. I probably did blow till 6 in the morning. I was out of it. I was just a walking zombie back then. And I went into the back chambers, and the girl came out, and she goes, there's people here to see you. And I didn't know what she was talking about. There was 2 feds. There was 2 cops there. And I didn't even know what the fuck they wanted. They introduced themselves, and they had a yellow manila envelope. And they started talking to me, and they're like, listen, man, the DEA or whatever has information on you. And they started throwing pictures at me. Lee, it was pictures of me fucking not doing blow, but pretty much everything else around it.
Wow.
Like from Colorado. They had pictures of me talking to people, exchanging, making exchanges. They had pictures of me at a bar. I mean, it was fucking mind-bogglingly. It was.
How long had they been following you?
They weren't with me. They weren't on me in Boulder at all. They were on me in Aspen and Snowmass Village.
Okay.
This is fucking 30 years ago. This is 20-something years ago. Did I know at the time? I knew something was going on in Aspen because one of the girls, somebody had approached me, and that guy came up to me and was very aggressive. That's how you know if people come with bad intentions. If Lee Syatt comes to me and for a month he buys a gram of blow every day, and then one day out of the blue he wants to buy a pound of coke, something ain't right.
Oh, okay.
You understand me? You already know this. You already know these things. If Lee comes to me 3 days in a row, the first time I meet him, and he goes, your coke is fucking tremendous. Can I buy 2 ounces? That's a cop.
Oh, okay.
Because they need 2 ounces, but they'll do multiple buys to make the court case a lot stronger when you go to court. So undercover cop will always make multiple buys. Unless you're that much of an asshole that'll sell them 10 pounds the first meeting.
Okay.
You follow me? They want multiple buys because it makes their case stronger. So I knew that this guy kept coming to me, and every time he'd come to me, he'd buy a couple grams cash, but he always talked to me about, man, these people I know want to buy 16 fucking kilos. If you go to New York, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. You want to buy a gram of blow? You can buy a gram of blow. I got to get it from a friend of mine. I'm doing you a favor. I wasn't doing you no favor, but this is what I was saying to them in case they're taping me.
Right.
So all these things, they came to me, Lee, and they said, if you roll on this guy and this guy and this guy, you're done. And Lee, I got to look you in the eye like a man, and I'll look the podcast people in the eye like a man, and at no time was I thinking of rolling.
Oh.
At no time. At no time did they even fucking roll in my mind.
Okay, were these good friends or like?
No, they were just people that I knew. They were like, if you go out there and just bring us cocaine people, like give us your sources. They were just fishing. And they were like, we know who they are. You know who they are. With that fucking, that 7 o'clock cop show mentality. And I remember sitting there going, okay, give me your numbers and I'll call you and I'll set you up. I left there. Like, I remember what that guy told me. He goes, string them along. So they always think you have some, then blast them. Say you got dick for them. Let them figure it out for themselves. Because trust me, if they have something on you, Lee, they'll nail you with it.
Well, that's true, but do you think they would have followed along? Like, if you had given up your sources, would they have let you just go?
No, they were still going to give me time, like assholes,
right.
Whatever, if I would have accepted the deal. But I could look you in the eye, and I could look people in the eye, and I don't fuck around when I tell you this. I had no doubt in my mind. And it wasn't because I was a tough guy. It wasn't because I was better than you, Lee. It's because that's how I was raised. I was raised that you don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You don't know what they're talking. That's something that was taught in me as a little boy, like when I was 3. Okay. Like that you don't rat. You don't fucking tell nothing to nobody. When the cops come, you don't know nothing. And that's your life. You don't know nothing. And you just don't know nothing because there's something that comes with ratting. There's something that comes with ratting. There's just something. And I didn't know this when I was 20 at that time. I just knew that I didn't rat. I knew that the consequences were fucking that bad. I knew that if you did something, you had to step up to it. I always knew these things. Whether I was going to do them or not, that's a complete different situation. But I tell you, when I walked out of that room that day, I was like, these fucking idiots. Just them to think. Obviously, they didn't look at the fucking background check, or they didn't look at my mental evaluation from the prison. They didn't do something. They didn't fucking do something because they missed the boat. I was like insulted, but I was happy. I was happy in a way. I'm like, these fucking idiots just showed me their hand. Ugh. And I was a young man.
Yeah.
I was a young man. I remember that I went back and they called me once or twice and they're like, hey, did you get those names? I'm like, listen, man, get the fuck out. Once I got my attorney down and I bought my time, I told them to fuck off, and then they never even talked to me again. But there was nothing in that realm. And there was reasons for it. There was something, just something. There was something that goes with being a man.
Well, I get if it's like if it's your friend, like if it was Lubes or one of the kids you grew up with, I get not turning them in. But like you've said before in the podcast, like you didn't, when you were robbing people, you weren't robbing good people, you were robbing drug dealers. It comes with the territory. Wouldn't sending the cops on them come with the territory? Like, it just, to me, getting out of any prison time sounds great.
If there were competition at the time or whatever, listen, when you're on the street, and I hate using that term because people say, oh, man, that's what the media calls it. When you're out there fucking doing shit that's illegal, I don't care who you are, you're always hedging your bets. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, I had 2 cops I always talked to. Was I a rat? No. They were acquaintances of mine. I grew up with them. One of my best friends till this day, all of those guys that went the first night to see me, they were all cops. I grew up with 2 or 3 cops that I had dialogue with. Was I a rat? No. I had dialogue with them. Having dialogue with a police officer is completely different. And you show me somebody who doesn't have dialogue, because all those neighborhoods, you always have a friend that's a cop. Somebody you grew up with is a cop, and he'll come to you from time to time and go, hey, man, not for nothing, what's up with your buddy Lee Syatt?
Okay.
Is he still snorting coke? Like, they'll say little things, and then you have to say something back to them. You grew up with them. You know that you can't get around them. You stick up for them, but you do it very subtly. That doesn't mean you're a rat. You have information. There's information. Information is golden. You're not saying you're a rat. You know what I'm saying? He'll say to me, hey, tell your boy Lee to fucking lay down with those computers. The cops know that he robbed the truck off the Route 70 or whatever. Okay. You follow me?
Yeah.
And there's dialogue there. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sounds like a great line. I mean,
you follow me? There's dialogue with every cop. When the cops come to you in that realm is when I knew. When I walked out of that room, Lee, I knew. And Lee, there was just, I don't know. It was just, do me a favor, play that Sinatra. This is a piece of my way. I love this song. I put it on the Facebook this morning. A lot of young guys yelled at me. But I want you to hear what he says at the end. Blast this motherfucker, Lee. What is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not. To say the things he truly feels, you motherfuckers. And not like the rest of these motherfuckers that are kneeling. Look. Of one who kneels and sucks dick. The record shows I did the fucking blow. And I did it my fucking way. And that's what a man does. That's what a fucking man does. That's why people don't listen to Sinatra no more. Because there's no fucking men walking around. If you listen to this shit every fucking day you listen to this shit, you'll fucking be, that's it. Put it on again, Lee. 3:10, 3:13. This is fucking Sinatra. This is what they listen to. Watch this. For what is a man? What does he got? If you don't got you ain't got dick. What the fuck you think you're dealing with here, huh? It's Monday morning on the fucking church. I'm dropping fucking Sinatra my way. Just to get it in your head, motherfuckers. It's your fucking world. Why fucking rap? I fucking hate that shit. I fucking always hated that shit, Lee Syatt. Since I can't understand. And years later, when I got to meet, I didn't get to meet Henry Hill. Somebody told me he was at the Comedy Store. I was in the back of the Comedy Store. Okay. And somebody said, run up front. Henry Hill's here. And I couldn't believe that people were enamored with this man. I can't believe that till today, when somebody, as soon as somebody tells me that somebody rats, that's the end of it. That's the end of it. That's the end of it. That's the weakest fucking point in your life. That's it. Like, I can't, there's people I have stopped talking to over fucking them telling something to somebody that I told them or somebody told them. You think I'm kidding you? I refuse. It's something about that principle of a man that I will not fucking tolerate. And it's funny that people get mad years later at, oh, well, he's a fucking rat. There's a kid I grew up with that everybody knows he's a fucking rat. The whole neighborhood knows he ratted on people for years. And people still, when he comes around, guess who was around? This guy was around. I have avoided that motherfucker. And he was good to me when I was a kid, believe it or not. He was pretty good to me when I was a kid, up to the time I was about 18 or 19. And then I found out he was a rat, and I couldn't have him around. And he ratted Danny Bianculo out. He ratted Kurt out. He ratted so many fucking people. And this guy, till today, people always say to me, oh, he's doing well, he's selling trucks. He ain't doing that well because he didn't have his friends. He didn't have the respect of his fucking friends ever. Ever. If you said something about this guy, around this guy, Lee, you could gamble your ass off. It was going back.
Oh, that's the worst. I mean, luckily I've never been in like the criminal situation. I get the point of not saying stuff your friends say.
Look how cute that little shirt looks.
What are you gonna do? My mother-in-law got it for me.
Your mother-in-law got you that shirt?
I like Christmas. But fucking, if I for whatever horrible reason was gonna go to jail, a criminal I might have to. I get friends, but criminals, I don't know if I could have done the same thing. We got a call coming in.
What's up, my brother? George.
Yo.
What's happening, cocksucker?
Not much, and you?
You know, over here with Lee Syatt, fucking breaking his balls this morning, over here doing a podcast. How are you, my friend?
Not bad.
What's the matter?
Yesterday, hung out with my family a little that came out from California. It was my dad's 70th birthday. So that was pretty cool. And watched a little bit of World Cup. I had a fun weekend and a lot of fights on Saturday, so I had a fun weekend.
Let me ask you something. What time did your family get up yesterday for the World Cup? Were you one of those Mexicans that got up at 7 and started yelling and screaming at 8:30, jumping up and down, cocksucker?
Yeah, that's pretty much us. We, this thing only comes around once every 4 years, so we go pretty nuts. But it's an all-day thing. You know, we watch both games, and today there'll be another 2 games, regardless of who's playing, whether it's U.S., Mexico, Brazil. We just love the sport. It's crazy. How about you, Joey and Lee? Have you guys been watching?
Not a fucking wink.
I watched a little bit. It was funny at the gym when Mexico won the game before. They were going crazy. But I watched a little bit of it. It's too. I did the first game of the World Cup. I was on a plane and I really tried to give it a chance. It's a little bit too slow for me. But how crazy is Vegas right now for like this month and a half? They must be loving it.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
And there's this bar here called McMullen's Irish Pub here in Vegas that they've called themselves the home of the World Cup, but especially fans of the U.S. men's national team. And it's a madhouse. I mean, they're breaking fire codes left and right. Every time the U.S. team's playing, They're packed to the gills. It's super loud. People are bringing in drums and whistles. But I'll tell you what, I always tell everyone else, when you're trying a new sport, put some money on it. You know, you don't have to be a baller and put 1,000, but maybe put 100 or 50 or whatever you can afford. You'll definitely get into it then. But, you know, it's similar to hockey. You know, there's not going to be much scoring going on, but there's an appreciation for what they're doing with their feet, their heads, their knees, their chest, everything but their hands, you know, in trying to guide the ball into the net. Once it's there, everybody goes nuts. So soccer commentators in Spanish, their heads are going to explode because it doesn't happen often. So that's the beauty of it.
Isn't it kind of hard to pick a winner? Like, no one picked the Netherlands over Mexico, did they?
Yeah, no, of course. Netherlands have actually been a powerhouse in the sport of soccer. So yeah, that was kind of a they were the favorite. Put it that way. I know that because I'm here in Vegas. Mexico is the traditional powerhouse as well, but I would say the Netherlands usually goes farther.
Oh, okay.
They went to the finals in 2010, so that's no shocker. They have great players there.
Wow, that shows how much I know about soccer.
I know nothing about soccer. I lived in I don't know. I grew up in a time where it wasn't big yet. It was still growing. I didn't even know that soccer was being played in the U.S. till I got married in '90, and the daughter I had played soccer in grammar school, whatever. That's how I knew. I didn't even know it was in the high school level. Where I went to school, we had tennis. So,
if you guys ever get a chance, and it may be too late, you guys may have already cashed in your chips. You know, your mind might be made up. But if you ever get a chance to travel abroad, especially, go to a soccer game. No matter where you are in the world, as soon as you check into your hotel and they say, "What can we help you with?" You know, and you're talking to the concierge, just say, "Hey, is a local soccer team playing?" Especially if you're in a big foreign city like Buenos Aires, Argentina, or Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, London, England, wherever, man. It doesn't matter. There's no way you'll have a bad time because just the experience itself is pretty nutty. But I think once you kind of get around the people, and like I say, just find a way to put $50 on it. You'll get into it. You'll figure out, just how fun the build-up is, the build-up of the goal, you know, the passes that one makes to get to that point. And then either you like it or you don't.
It's crazy. In 1994, I must have been 6 or 7 years old, and there was a game. I don't know if it was only in Foxborough, Massachusetts, but there was a game in Foxborough, and my dad took me, but I was too young. So after 10 minutes, I was like, "Let's go home." And I was 6 or 7. I just couldn't. I wasn't old enough to go there. But even to this day, he'll make fun of me because we went to the World Cup. It was expensive. It was good seats. After I got the food and the foam finger, I wanted to go home.
That was it.
Well, I'll tell you this much. One of the biggest regrets of my life will be not going to the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. I've been to Brazil many times. I love it there. And when I heard they were going to host the World Cup, I thought, "Oh, my God, this is the trip of a lifetime." I went to the 2006 World Cup in Germany and had a blast, but I knew that I wanted to go to one more before I'm done, and I thought this would have been perfect. And every time I see those images of people partying in Copacabana Beach, whether you went to a game or not, just being in the country that hosts a World Cup is something else. I can't go to the next one because it's in Russia. I'm not too interested in going to Russia, man. I'd have to read the State Department their little handbook and see if it's safe to go to Russia or what. But I knew that in Brazil I would feel safe. I've been there many times, and I'm pissed off that I didn't go. It sucks.
It's fucking amazing. It's amazing that I got up yesterday. I was headed to the beach, and I drove by Big Wang's, and there was 1 million people there.
Oh, yeah.
Like on a Sunday morning, there was just people, and I didn't know this was this much interest. So that's why I live in my own fucking bubble, George. I don't even know what the fuck happens half the time. But I love it that, hey, man, all the countries. So they do this every 4 years, that's it?
Yeah, every 4 years the big competition is the World Cup. So 32 teams come from all over the world. They qualify over the course of the 2 years leading up to it, and they narrow it down. And the top 32 countries go, and they bring 10 from Europe, 6 from South America, according to where the where the stronger teams are, and they want to make it a global deal. And now they start to rotate the locations as well. So before it used to just be Russia, South America took turns, but South Africa got in it this last time, and then they went to Japan and Korea. I think hosted one once. So they're starting to spread it around.
You played soccer in high school, Lee?
No, I played it when I was like 6 or 7, but no, I was never
When
fast
you were in
enough
high
for that.
school, they had soccer at the pro. Like,
Yeah.
But did they have it in gym?
Not in gym. In gym, like we had weird stuff with like rock climbing and stuff like that. But soccer was they had JV and varsity soccer.
Yeah, I never even fucking. I wish I would have. Now. What are you gonna do, George? You know what I'm saying? You wish you woulda, coulda. I wish I was Joe Lozon. What am I gonna do? I wish I could submit people. Like,
those regrets are the ones we have to live with. So I always try and tell our audience as well, especially some of the younger, the guys that are stumbling around, coming out of high school, just going to a JC and trying to bang chicks, get drunk. They don't know what the hell they're doing, and I try and once in a while give them that little big brother mentor angle and say, hey man, no regrets. Seriously, do what you want, do what you like, because when you're young, you're influenced by a lot of people, especially your parents, and sometimes you wind up doing what they want. And then later on, you realize when you're 30 or 40 that that's not what the hell you wanted to do, and you can only be the best at what you want to do, that's for sure.
It's amazing when you're young how old are you now, George?
44.
It's amazing when you're 20 and 22 how confused you are and how confident you are.
You're a dumb fuck at that age. You don't know any better.
Like, it's so crazy how confident I was, but at the same time how scared I was. Like, I still walk around scared. I was telling Dom Herrera this week, before I got on stage, that if I have a show at 8 o'clock, I start pissing my pants at 5. Like, I literally start pissing my pants at 5 o'clock. Like, 4
To this day?
To this day.
Wow, all them shows under your belt, you still get nerves. That's good, though.
And I like the fear. I like having the fear. I was watching Chris Weidman last night on the Countdown, which you were on last night. You look very handsome. And Chris Weidman says that when he has a fight, everything's good till the morning of. The morning of, it's fucking horrible. For me, it's 2 hours before I fucking have to go on stage. 5 o'clock, 5:30. By 6:30, I'm living in doubt. Like, I don't know why I want to go down there. What would happen if I canceled? You just get scared. When I fucking talk to Lee every day. I yell at Lee because I think about when I was 25, how much more I wish I would have done, and the things I would have done differently. But I was out there, you know what I'm saying? I was out there. Now,
right.
I have no regrets about that. I was out there, and I was trying to get my life together. I didn't know what to do, but it's amazing how fucking scared you are, man, and how. And I'm sure that viewers, listeners, are saying, Joey, I'm 26. I'm not fucking scared. Yes, you are. Yes, you fucking are, and you don't even know it. It's so different how, as you get older, you're still scared, but you're not that fucking scared and confused, and. You wish you could do it over again, to sling fucking dick with 3 hands, but you get the numbers thrown at you that you do. You know what I'm saying, George?
Oh, yeah. I think back to, I have cousins that might be 10 years younger. Even my little brother's, Goes is he's 9 years younger than I am. So sometimes when he's stumbling along doing stuff, I kind of look, I stay quiet. And sometimes I want to chime in, other times I don't. But, unsolicited advice for some, it's not, it's not their thing, but every once in a while, when I can try and lend a little wisdom, I do. But you're not the same, man. I'm not the same from when I was 34. 34 was completely different. 24, way, way different. And I wish I could talk to me, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. You have to learn from some of the mistakes, that's for sure. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes. There's nothing wrong with having regrets. But there's nothing wrong with listening to others as well. Getting your hands on literature and reading and picking other people's brains. There's nothing wrong with that either. I think sometimes people have too much pride or they're just not willing to listen. But if they did, then, I don't know. I just think that maybe they could have avoided some of the setbacks we've all had.
No, well, people always gave me advice. It was like certain people that I really trusted that I got advice from, I always listened, though. I never understood people that didn't grasp or something. Like, you're walking out of a liquor store. You go in to buy a pack of gum or something like that. And when you walk out, there's some fucking drunk guy. And he comes over to you and he says, hug your lady, You only get one shot. You giggle at something like that. But he's saying something he knows. You know, I learned from my first divorce what to do the second time around. You know, people get mad at me. They always call me and they go, hey, we're doing this thing Sunday and we're doing this thing Saturday. You know what, George? From Monday to Friday, I do what I want. On Saturdays and Sundays, if I'm home with my family, like if I don't have a comedy gig, I belong to them. And people say, well, my wife doesn't say nothing to me. If I went home and told my wife I'm meeting George on Saturday at 6, we're going out to do dinner, my wife wouldn't complain at all. But that's not what you do. You know what I'm saying? My weekend is for them. And how did I learn this? I got divorced. And that's what I learned from getting divorced, that you have to make time for them and you have to make time for you, and you have to stick to that time, you know. But I'm sure I learned other things from life similar to that, you know, from making mistakes. You're absolutely right, George. You're absolutely fucking
man.
right.
I'm still making them to this day. You guys are going to laugh your asses off, but I recently on Friday, I was at the IRS for 4 hours, finally submitting some old stuff that I needed to clear up. But I'll tell you, it felt so good to know that, all right, I'm caught up with turning everything in, and I know that there's an amount out there that I owe, and it's not too bad, actually. And that's the part that makes me feel like a twat, because this is just something I really could have, addressed. And I kept kind of running away from it. I'll get to it. But the stupidest thing you can do is obviously, not do your taxes, because you have to pay them one way or another. Whether you pay them every month or catch up once a year or whatever, you have to do it. And there's these stupid penalties that are involved in just not doing them. And I don't know why I kept thinking, an extension, but an extension really doesn't do much other than postpone the damage, you know. But anyway, like I said, it felt so good, and it sucked. I sat there like a sucker. I looked around. There was other suckers around me too, and I kept thinking, I'm too good for this. I should know better. I should know better than be sitting here and then have an official from the other side looking at me, you know, and all they do is look at twats like me all day as well. And I don't know how they don't, go nuts, but that's their job. They're used to it. And but it's something I learned. I'll tell you what, man, come January, however soon my accountant can take me in, I've already got the money set aside. I'm going to put that behind me and just do my gig. How about that, man? A 44-year-old man still falling behind in his taxes.
Hey, brother, I walked in there when I was 40 and came clean with them. So when I was 40, it was 11 years ago. So what was that, 2003? I hadn't paid taxes since 1990. I didn't pay taxes for 13 fucking years. And I walked into that office thinking they were going to throw me in jail. And I walked out of there with $150 a month payment for 5 years, and that was it.
There you go.
And they were nicer than I did the same thing with the state. I think they were like $113 a month for 5 fucking years. It was like a banknote. And I thought they were going to throw me in jail. The IRS isn't in business to throw you in jail. And they'll fucking waive all the penalties and fees. Believe it or not. They'll waive it just for you to do your fucking taxes and pay them off. Yeah. They don't give a fuck. I was blown away. I was blown away when I walked in there how nice they were. I thought they were going to fucking chastise me and browbeat me. Not a fucking thing. Not why.
You're right.
Nothing.
I will give them that.
Nothing. Not why didn't you do it? What were you, like they talked down to me? Nothing. She just said, look, anything you made up to the last 7 years, it's yours. You got away with it. The last 7 years, you got to pay us our fucking money. And that's exactly what I did. And today I have moved on from the IRS and from the state. I will not go to jail and have a cell next to Wesley Snipes.
I know. How did he not get out of it? There wasn't a way for him to get out of it. I mean, I thought at the end of the day, whether he owed or not, he still had some money. I just don't see how the case was so bad against him that, he wasn't able to find a way to just...
I guess he told him to suck their dick.
Go out there and earn.
I guess he told him to suck their dick. Because there's a way, they'll work with you. But didn't they throw Big Joe in jail too? Or no, Big Joe got out. Fat Joe?
I don't know. I know about Wesley Snipes. He did 2-3 years. And I'll tell you what, he was sucking other people's dicks. Because who knows what the hell happens in prison. That's one place I definitely want to avoid.
Let me tell you something. They put him in expendables, and that's all that happens, all right?
Yeah, they put Fat Joe in jail for tax evasion.
They put him in jail? For how long?
He was released in November.
For how long did he do? He did a couple of weeks or
We'll
something.
find out.
Yeah, they throw your ass in jail. When you're a celebrity and you tell them to fuck off, didn't they throw James Brown in jail too?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't fuck around, man. When you're a higher profile type person, you tell them to suck your dick.
Fetcher only did 4 months.
4 months, but 4 months is 4 months.
Right.
There ain't no recording studios in fucking prison. I'll tell you that much. You're singing in that fucking shower. You're in there fucking freestyling in the shower. What is going on this week in the UFC?
Dude,
This is the
lot
reason-
is going on
this
this
is the
weekend.
reason
Well,
why
for
you
one,
made this call.
We usually discuss an upcoming card, but as of like 2014, there's some weekends where they're having 2 cards. Whether it's a night or back-to-back nights, it's starting to happen. The sport's starting to blow up in that sense. Whether it's too much or not, we can discuss that in a bit. But this weekend, it's back-to-back nights. Last weekend, it was two fight cards on the same day. This weekend, we got UFC 175. Chris Weidman, the guy you talked about earlier, the middleweight champion of the world. He takes on Lyoto Machida, a great opponent, man, a great fight, one of the fights I've been looking forward to all year. On that same card, Ronda Rousey defends her belt against Alexis Davis. Chael Sonnen and Vanderlei Silva were supposed to be on this card, but they're not. It's still pretty good. Uriah Faber's on it, and a few other names. I don't recall them all right now at this minute. And then the next day, BJ Penn fights Frankie Edgar. For the 3rd time, he's dropping 145 pounds now to do this. They were the coaches for the Ultimate Fighter throughout the season that's been taking place, and they're on the Ultimate Fighter 19 finale. So you can have those 2 headlining that card, and then a bunch of guys from the season that's kind of unfolded right now. There's 2 different divisions. They'll crown 2 different Ultimate Fighters. Back-to-back nights at Mandalay Bay. Never been done before, back-to-back nights in the same city. It'll be interesting how that unfolds because you only got a certain amount of dollars, you know, guys. I mean, I don't know what kind of specials are out there. I didn't really look. Luckily, as media, I get a credential. But, you know, if you're putting out 400, 200, whatever a ticket, times you know, your girlfriend, your friend, your brother, your mother, whoever you're treating, and then you got to do it the next night and put out another 100, 175. That can be tough. So I'm going to be interested to see how this works out. But aside from that, the UFC Fan Expo, all kinds of activities, pool parties, concerts, a 5K, you name it. The UFC's definitely done a great job to promote what's called International Fight Weeks.
Now, Dana White is running the 5K?
He is.
Wow.
He is running the 5K, and so are a lot of big names. I know Chuck Liddell's running it. Mike Dolce, he's running it, but he's the one running the whole program. I'm sure he'll actually run it, but he's the one that's kind of like spearheading that deal. You know, they want people to get fit. They want people to use UFC Fit. So him and Misha Tate are kind of like the hosts, but a few fighters have signed up, a couple world champions. I think I saw TJ Dillashaw's name on there, Cain Velasquez's name. So the UFC's definitely brought out their big guns, and they're going to participate.
Wow. Can you walk it, George?
No, you know what? I am going to go out there, but I'm not going to run it, and I'll tell you why. Because I have a buddy who, me and some buddies have been kind of trying to lose weight, so we've been pushing each other, and he posted a horrific 3K time, and I have a feeling that my time would be even more horrible than that. So I don't want to set myself up for any jokes. So I think I'm just going to go out there and hand out water, you know, and maybe take some pictures or whatever. But I don't think I want to get in there. I kind of do run on my own a bit, but you know, I walk when I'm tired, and I don't know. I'm probably going to stay away from that.
Listen, man, I'm
dude,
proud
it's
of
like
you.
110. 110 right now, and it's only 7 in the morning, so the last thing they need to see is my fat ass out there.
Let me tell you something, man. When you run those things, you're never a loser. I did them. I used to get killed in Boulder. I would try to do the biathlon, the swim run, or the swim bicycle. I don't even remember my time, but my time was horrible. But let me tell you something. It was just going down there and being a part of it. That was really cool. I can't run today. For a minute there, I'm like, maybe I'll take the flight and just walk the 4K. I would love to even walk it. I was busting Lee's balls about walking Ryman, and they just shot my knee again. And for some reason, the outside of the knee feels good, but the side of it, the inside is still hurting, like towards the end, so I don't really want to push it. But I would love to fucking do something like that. I know I definitely can't run it. There's no fucking way. I could definitely finish it. If I walk, I'll tell you that much. I don't even know.
I have no problem with that. It's just I'm afraid that my time's going to be on the digital clock there, and my other buddies. If my other buddies weren't going, then I'd probably do it. But now that they're in on it, I just know that I'm setting myself up for some ball busting. So I think I'll just play that media role, hand out waters, maybe ask a few questions, and then I got to hustle back and do MMA Junkie Radio. We're starting a little bit late on that day, but at least it'll allow me to go out to this event.
Mike Dolce in his book has a great running program in there for the treadmill, And
right.
I was doing it for a while, and I tell you what I found out and I saw it the other day for the first time. I'm 51 and I never saw this. The other day I was in the elliptical. How do you say it, Lee? Elliptical machine, and I saw a 300-pound guy running from behind, and I saw how much damage it is in comparison to helping you. Like, it's just too much weight. I saw this guy from the back, how he would just run a little, like he was running a moderate speed. I mean, he had great cardio. He probably ran for 15 minutes. But even on the treadmill, I could see where the damage, I could see it from behind, how heavy, how much pounding it is on your joints. And now I know when I was doing that Dolce run why my knees hurt that much. I didn't give a fuck, though. I'll take 2 Aleve or 2 Advils, and I'll be fine. But then you have to sit there and go, I'm 51, I'm not playing professional sports. Why am I walking around sore? That's the other
right.
end of it.
Well, I guess, it's obviously aside from the health reasons, you have the incentive of, now you have your baby daughter and, maybe dropping 20 pounds will tack on an extra 10 years for you. I don't know. I'm not trying to preach or anything.
Oh, no, you're absolutely fucking right. This is what I've been thinking about the last 3 weeks, especially when it comes to jiu-jitsu, that when I'm in there, and even though I'm trying and I'm rolling, every time I get flipped over and I land on a wrist or an elbow, I'm putting 310 pounds of weight on something, I'm doing this now, acknowledging this. I'd never acknowledged this before, how bad it is to be that big. And I'm sure it's great for some people, my cartilage just disappeared. I just got another shot in the knee. It'll be 2 weeks 2 Thursdays ago. So it would just be great to be involved in a 3K walk or something, in Vegas and see Dana. But 110 degrees, that just put a fucking kibosh on that shit. Fuck you. That kills fat guys right there.
Yeah, especially when I have to do the show just a few hours later. I don't know. I think I'll be good enough being there to support. You know what I'll do is I'll get myself in shape, and maybe I'll do another 5K down the road. But this one I'm going to skip.
It's really weird how the last couple of months I've been really working on my cardio, or at least I've been trying. I know I sound a little better on the podcast. I don't hear myself breathing anymore, and I'm not running. I'm jolting my system with the kettlebells. I'll try to do light kettlebells over 15 reps, and I'll try to do the epileptical, But I'll tell you what, man, it doesn't matter until I drop this weight. Once I drop this weight, my cardio will be that much better. I know that if I go from 300 to 265, my cardio will be, I'm still not going to run. I'll still be in Fat Country's fucking league, right? How big is Big Country? 265, right? 264.
The last time he weighed in around
250 something.
Yeah, 255, I think. Hey, it's weird because I'll see him at these media functions, or I'll see him around Vegas, and I always kid myself and go, shit, he looks like he's 238, 240. Looks like he may have shed those 10, 15 pounds that we've always wanted him to do, to just kind of look a little better and maybe last a little, but, not gas as much. And step on that damn scale, and he's always 260. This last time he did go down to 250 against Nogueira, he looked good, man. And
he
hasn't needed the cardio as much because he's been starching guys.
He's a fucking freak of nature to watch him, because I know sometimes when I after 2 minutes of jiu-jitsu, I'm huffing and puffing. I ain't gonna lie to nobody. And I have little tricks you got on your shoulder and shit so your lungs can breathe. But besides that, so how's the stress going? How's the anxiety going?
Pretty good, man. Knock on wood, I've been good, guys. I think a lot what helps is some of the exercise I do. I mean, every day I get up and walk these 2 dogs I have. So that's a couple miles. And if I'm doing good on time, then I'll wash off their paws, and then I'll go run a little bit more just so I can get my heart pumping and sweat. But I'm telling you, man, just a little bit of sweat every day definitely, I think, just helps burn, some of those frustrations, some of that stress, and being more organized. I walk around with this notebook, and I use the notes feature, and the notes app on my laptop, which, communicates with my phone. And when I'm on top of stuff, things are fine. Nothing bugs me. But if I put myself in a pickle or something, and I start thinking too much, I think that's when sometimes it sets in. Sometimes I think caffeine triggers it a lot as well, and sometimes I push it a little hard on the coffee. And another thing I've noticed is if I don't rest a lot, then sometimes what happens is your body, I think, weakens, and you're more susceptible to all this stuff.
Let me talk to you about something. Are the tickets selling for this weekend's UFC? I mean, have you heard anything?
I don't know, but I heard they did. I heard they weren't going to give out as many comps. They're asking, people that normally get hooked up around town, they're pretty much not. I mean, it's a good seller. Say what you will about the rest of the card, because it's not the sexiest card in the world, but you do have 2 title fights on the card. Rousey's a big seller, and Weidman's obviously been involved in some big cards last year, and I think people love that kid. Machida's earned his shot, so nobody's been gifted here. He deserves to be in there. If you're just kind of going to watch that, then I think you're already getting your money's worth. Obviously the UFC stacks it with some talent, and the undercard will be fine as well. Then you got the UFC Fan Expo, but
the Fan Expo,
I don't know. I think it will sell out though.
I think the Fan Expo, for anybody who hasn't been, and you're even a slight fan, it's like what you guys were talking about. If you're in another country and you go to a soccer game, you'll really see what it's about. If you're not doing anything, I'll tell you what, the Fan Expo is really a lot of fun. It really, and I guarantee it's grown since I went. Because I think I went 2 years ago. I walked around the one day, and it was really interesting. To get the Q&A, but now you can work out with them. You could work out with Daniel Cormier. Is he still one of the guys you could work out with?
I'm pretty sure I know he's going to be there.
Right.
Teaching a self-defense class at the Boys and Girls Club, early this week. So I know he's here for the week. But you're right, Joe. I know one time BJ Penn had a seminar. So, you can grapple and strike and learn from some of the best. Definitely rub elbows with a lot of them. And even if you're, the expo can be sometimes tight, and these lines can be time-consuming. Some people have that patience, some don't. But I'm telling you, you run into these guys all over the place. And they're all, think about it, 2 fight cards, back-to-back nights. All those fighters are at Mandalay Bay. Then you got all the guys that are at the expo. They're all staying at Mandalay Bay. But if you're a fan, come down to Mandalay Bay this weekend. I guarantee you're going to be running into a lot of people. And you head on down to that expo and get there early. If you get there early, I think you can get past some of those queues that go very long. And I think you'll have a good time.
What's the expo ticket go for a round?
I want to say like 35 to 50, depending
That's
if you got
not
it
fucking
really
bad.
early or if you get it at the door.
That's not fucking bad, man. That's not bad. And let me tell you something. There's a bunch of giveaways in there. Energy drinks are in there, and T-shirt companies. So it is pretty. I'm telling you. You know what? When I was a kid, I used to go to comic book conventions. That was my shit. You're looking at me, Lee, and I'm telling you right now, I used to go to comic book conventions and have a fucking great time. And it's the same thing. It's just a 3-day, and especially this week, because you have the Sunday. So is it going to be Sunday too? Friday, Saturday,
Yeah, so they changed
Sunday?
it. It used to be Friday and Saturday.
Right.
But this year they're doing it Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday on both days, it starts like at 9 or 10, and it goes till about 5 or 6. If you're going to the fight cards on either day and you don't want to miss a fight, then you may have to peel out of there a couple hours early. But it's all within the same hotel, which is very, very convenient. And or you can get there, miss a fight or two, but take in the whole expo. I think if you're pretty good at, walking around and not picking up every piece of gear and equipment and asking prices, I mean, you should be able to hustle through that, in 2 to 4 hours, depending on how many lines you get into to get autographs and meet fighters. But, if you're just a casual observer, you can get through it pretty quick and still have time to take in the fights, because for a lot of people, that's the priority, is the fights.
Now, Saturday night I got home, Lee and I got really stoned. Lee made me eat a gummy bear, whatever the fuck he usually has in his pocket, and I didn't really, when I get home at night, sometimes I look at Yahoo and I look at what's going on, and sometimes I just go to bed, sometimes I read it, sometimes I just digest it, whatever, and I go watch TV. I read something Saturday night, and I read it and at the time when I read it, it was very like, what did I expect type deal. And it was that Chael Sonnen had failed another drug test, an additional drug test. Now, he was originally supposed to be slated for the July 4th card with Vidor or Vanderlei, and then Vanderlei got scratched. Then it was Vidor, and then he came up positive for the first drug test. Then I got up yesterday morning, in my life, we were going to go to the beach and whatever. When we got back, I went online and I read the article that MMA Junkie had released about the second drug test and what's been going on with Fox and people. Break it down for me. I understand the one drug test, but when was the second one taken that they're talking about?
All right, so the way it worked was he, as he was preparing for this fight, he was tested twice, and the one that came out about 3 weeks ago, the one that led to his retirement, he was tested. I don't remember the names of the PEDs that he tested for, but they're names that you commonly hear in other sports. And the excuse he used was that those were helping him adjust to his body getting off TRT. And though there might be some truth to that, the problem is those two steroids are on the ban list for WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency. So he basically should have known better, even though what he was saying, I guess, was partly true. It doesn't matter. It'd be like saying, well, I took cocaine because cocaine's proven to help me get off, something else that's illegal. Therefore, you guys should be okay with it. But somebody would sit back and say, but cocaine's illegal too, And so Chael's got the gift of gab, and amazingly enough, out of, the 100% of people that probably should have said, that doesn't fly, at least 50% say, well, Chael's got a point. And then the 50 that are, out there that are very educated just aren't trying to hear it. I mean, an athlete cheated is what it boiled down to. And this is an athlete that was pointing fingers at his opponents, at others. And so if you look at that, I mean, that doesn't sit well with anybody either. He's kind of a bit of a hypocrite there. So now let's fast forward to like you said, last Saturday, the news broke that he failed for HGH and EPO, and on that one, I think he gave a statement similar to the first one, something brief, and it really doesn't matter because once again, now this guy was basically testing positive for a lot of different performance-enhancing drugs that just aren't allowed, aren't accepted, and yet the reasoning and because what you want from the athlete is you want them, some culpability, some responsibility. He doesn't really offer that, and I think this one's going to be very, very damaging for him because it's again with him pointing fingers, and he's definitely got his fair share of detractors as well. But even the people that support him, I just don't know how they can accept anything he's got to say at this point. He definitely was trying to find an edge. And the thing is, guys, how long has he been doing this? I mean, with that carefree attitude, how far back can one point to it? Well, what I can remember is when he was going to fight Anderson Silva for the first time in 2010, and I think it was when they were asking for the sample or when he was filling out paperwork, that's when he came clean and made up some story that Keith Kaiser, the former Nevada State Athletic Commissioner in Las Vegas, had given him permission. That wasn't true, so that's him just flat out lying, hoping he doesn't get caught. And Keith Kaiser obviously testified that was not the case. And so if you go back to that timeline, it sounded like he had received permission for the two fights prior to that, which kind of put him in the position to fight Anderson Silva. So my point is, his career is going to be tainted, man, because he put himself in a position to fight for a world title a couple times by fighting guys with an advantage. At least one has to assume that if you kind of put all the pieces of the puzzle together, and that's going to be damaging for his career. I'm not taking anything away from his ability to hype up a fight, the work that he does on Fox Sports, But as an athlete, I really feel like he's been a little bit of a fraud. And, you know, the other athletes are starting to come out, and they're starting to get pissed, like former opponents of his. You know, they have to start to wonder, wow, you know, could this guy have had the edge when he fought me? That's definitely not cool. But whatever. What's going to happen now, we don't know. In the article you read, Joe, he talked about how he retired, and yes, he'll have to face the Nevada State Athletic Commission, but whatever they throw his way, it's not going to matter. He's not competing anymore. And what Ben Folks, one of our writers, was talking about was, you know, maybe this should go a little bit further. If the UFC wants to take a stance on cheaters, you know, they got to send the message that this won't be tolerated in any way. And Fox and the UFC are partners, so they probably do have a little bit of influence, you know, and maybe they may ask, or maybe Fox on their own may ask Chael to step down from that post. It's not uncommon. We've seen, I believe, Antonio Tarver, the boxer, he had tested positive, had a positive test a while back, and I think I remember hearing that, you know, HBO was not going to use him. Now, I don't know if that was for a certain amount of time or if they parted ways altogether. So, again, you know, what the UFC's reaction is going to be to this, we don't know. And I think that's something that we'll wait and see this week. If they don't do much about it, I don't think it's going to sit well with a lot of people because, you know, now we're talking about to the levels of like what Lance Armstrong did, in my opinion. You know, to cheat over a period of time, continuously lie about it, and the fact is that yielded him some results, some really top-notch wins. He's got a lot to face when he faces the Nevada State Athletic Commission. I'm interested to see what he has to say about all this. I think this, you know, maybe there could be a possible investigation. Who knows?
You know, bro, he's got a lot to face when he faces himself. That's the bottom line with this. He's got a lot to face when he faces himself. And like I told you yesterday on the phone, you know, I never really met him or hung out with him. You know, when I've seen him and been around him, he's been very pleasant. And, again, he chucks and jives, you know, which I was the master of. So I understand. I'm not here to lay judgment on somebody who made a mistake because I made tons of mistakes. I went to prison, but I paid my dues and I copped to it, you know. And when I first found out that he tested positive, I giggled like everybody else in America. You know, you giggle a little bit. But in my world, it was, what did you expect from this fucking guy? The thing that gets me burnt up more than anything, and I love Dana, and I've been his guest many a times at the shows, is that he's this guy's fucking biggest backer. And, you know, where everybody wants to see what the fuck Dana's going to do now. You know, for years, people have been asking, does this guy have photographs of Dana naked, you know, getting whipped by Ariane? What does he have on him, you know? Because every time, everything falls in his favor, and everything's a fucking giggle and a smile. If this was Anderson Silva, that had tested positive twice and done all this shit, you know, you wouldn't see him on the fucking Fox show, or you wouldn't see him. And again, I'm not going into anything else that people usually go into. I'm just telling you how the fuck it is from what I've seen. Chael gets and does what he wants. You know, 20 minutes after it was announced, Dana went on ESPN and he was giggling about it, kind of. You know, for fertility, you know, everything's for, and it's going back to what I talk about here. Your life doesn't move ahead until you claim responsibility. If he would have got on TV that second time and said, all of a sudden fertility, and what are you fucking talking about? Joey Diaz is a 51-year-old guy. He did blow for 27 years. He smokes pot, eats edibles every day, and some way sperm came out of there and got her fucking pregnant. What are you fucking talking about? You don't drink, you don't do nothing, you're a world-class fucking athlete and your sperm don't fucking work. You know, just tell the world that you fucked up and you'll never insult them again and you're quitting. But don't, he made it seem like he was quitting because they were unfair to him. It's fucking amazing. And it's fucking amazing how the rest of you fucking assholes react to this shit. I'm not mad at Chael. I don't give a fuck if the UFC fires him. I don't give a fuck if he ever fights again, because I still got to get up in the morning, every fucking morning, and go to work and put up with the fucking trial. I'm not one of those guys that you're going to catch a week from now. You know, in February, I'm at a show in Boston. I swear to God, George. And some guy comes up to me at the bar and he's like, hey, man, I got to talk to you about something. You've had Herb Dean on your podcast a couple times. You know, what do you think about him with the early stoppage? I'm like, it's Friday night. and there's bitches with fake tits wanting to get their pussy sucked. And you're talking about Herb fucking Dean. You fucking idiot. You fucking retard. So I'm not one of those guys that's going to sit here and say, what's the state of Chael Sonnen, and we're going to talk about it for 8 fucking... Who gives a fuck? Life goes on. I got to go fucking work out and deal with my daughter. It's just amazing what we tolerate with and what we believe as Americans anymore. He made it seem like the state commission was wrong for not letting him take that shit. And now he tests positive again. I'm happy this chapter's over with. And I'm happy that they got to see him for what he was. And he's still a great guy, and I'm sure, you know, when you hang out with him, he's a hard worker. And the guy works hard. You know what's crazy, George? That the guy has fucking talent.
Yeah.
Guy has fucking talent.
You're right. I guess that's one.
That's what burns me the most.
Him saying that he was an out-of-competition athlete, and he wasn't an out-of-competition athlete, but yet he says these things, and I don't know if it's because he believes them himself or if he thinks, well, you know, if I talk enough, people will believe it, but it's not being genuine. It's disingenuous, you know, and he's got fans, and I think he should realize that a lot of people have supported him, you know, and they deserve to know the truth, and he avoided the truth when he had a chance to come clean, and now the second test has come out, and it sounds like by that early statement that he's not too interested in facing the music there either. So, you know, I don't know. We'll see. I guess I got to give him his chance to see if what kind of interviews he puts out, and let's see how the UFC reacts to it. But once again, the UFC constantly has said, hey, we're not just a niche sport, you know, we're not roller derby or, you know, super motocross or anything like that. I mean, we're a sport that wants to compete with the NFL, the NBA, the Major League Baseball, you know, and a lot of those sports, they're not tolerating shit like that, guys. So we'll see what kind of a statement they make. And it's going to be tough because it's one of their big stars. You know, recently they had an athlete who pushed the referee, and that athlete immediately got fired. Now, I'm not saying pushing a referee's fair, but the statement that was made was, we just don't tolerate that. And it'll be interesting to see if that's something, you know, if John Jones pushed the referee, would they part ways with him or not? I'm not so sure they would. So I think there's going to be a big spotlight on the UFC, on Dana White, and on Chael Sonnen this week. Let's see how they react.
How fucking great would that be to see John Jones smack the shit out of Mario Yamasaki one day? Just pick him up and elbow him to the head. Dana would be jumping up and down. The Fertitti brothers would be jumping up and down. Everybody'd be fucking happy. But that's it, man. That's the world. And it's a big fucking summer. I mean, there's how many more? You got this weekend. And what else do you have the rest of the summer? I mean, you got some fucking fights this summer. You got Jose Aldo, Chad Mendez. You've got Masasi in August 2nd. Then August...
Yeah, Masasi and Jacare. That's a good one. That's on the same card as
God.
Aldo and Mendez. That's at Staples Center in L.A.
Oh, my
then
God.
They're coming to San Jose with Robbie Lawler versus Matt Brown. That's going to be pretty crazy. They're going to Bangor, Maine. So they're I think that's the first time they've been there. They just got back from Albuquerque. They just got back from San Antonio. So what they're doing is they're throwing on a lot of fucking shows. They're grabbing 2 great athletes, maybe 4, and saying, you're headlining, you're co-main eventing, and then the rest is, you know, lesser talent. It's a step down, you know. But what happens is they're going into more markets, and not just in the United States, but worldwide. Markets that are thirsting for it. So if they can pull in a good gate and get decent numbers on Fox, then they're considering it a win. The only problem is that hardcore audience that's wishing the pay-per-views that they pay for and the fight cards that they go to would be a little bit more stacked, you know, and it's kind of, you know, some of the cards are a little bit watered down. And the fact is, MMA fans are a little spoiled, but you know who spoiled us was the UFC. So now when they pull back a little, it sucks, and the fans are vocal, and they bitch, and sometimes I agree with them, sometimes I want to tell them to shut the fuck up, you know. I mean, after all, if you are an MMA fan and you don't have nothing to do, you're not banging chicks, you're just sitting at home, well, you know what? There's some free fights on, and that's something we didn't have a few years ago either. So there's pluses and minuses on both sides of the argument. I personally, I really enjoy when I was growing up and they told me, Hagler's fighting Leonard. Are you having it at your house? And I'd say, yeah, man, come on over. And we'd order pizzas and beers, and fucking 50 people would be in my house, or I'd go to my buddy's house. That build-up, that anticipation was huge, you know? But now, with all these events being shoved down my throat, sometimes I don't have that. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I'm like, and if I miss it, I don't feel like I missed much. Why? Because the next one's upon us, and I get jacked for that one. So I don't know what their strategy is going to be. You know, I don't know how they treat this, and you know, maybe they're okay with pissing a hardcore fan off like me from time to time, but maybe they're gaining two that I don't know of in New Zealand. Who knows what happens back to, you know, at these Zuffa offices. They do have some smart people. I will give them credit. They have grown the sport, but at the same time, you know, there's got to be a little bit of a backlash on this too.
Now, who's fighting on the August 29th card?
They haven't even put that one together. That's happening in Vegas on Labor Day weekend. It was supposed to be Jones and Gustafson, but that got pushed back about a month. So as of right now, I don't think that has a main event. And if you think about it, that's less than 2 months. No, that's 2 months away today, I think. So, you know, some people like to make plans, especially on Labor Day weekend. And, you know, I think an announcement should come soon. Now, maybe they have to wait for this weekend. Maybe they can do something with the people that fight on this card, but you know, that card hasn't come together yet. We haven't heard one peep from that one.
So the winner of Robbie Lawler, Matt Brown gets Johnny Hendricks. Now Johnny Hendricks is hurt. He's recovering. When is his ETA?
He said he'd be ready to go by the fall. We just had him on the show about 2 weeks ago, and he said he'd be ready to go by. He was given the notice to start training, and he said he could train, you know, not just run on a treadmill, but he could actually start grappling and you know, start training for a fight. So once he got cleared for all that, I think they could circle a date and do something with the winner of Brown and Lawler. For Lawler, this could be possibly, you know, 4 fights in 1 year, which is rare. And if Matt Brown wins, you know, that'll work too. But it sounds like they'll pencil him in somewhere around October or November.
Now, what's the state of Anderson Silva and Nick Diaz?
You know, it sounds like it could happen because both guys could share a decent payday. For Anderson Silva, I think he sees it more as a tune-up. All right, he eventually wants to get another shot at Weidman. The same way BJ Penn wants a piece of Frankie Edgar for the third time, Anderson Silva, trust me, wants a piece of Chris Weidman for the third time. So whatever they throw in front of him, as long as it's someone that he thinks he can beat, then he'll take it. You know, for Nick Diaz, it'll get him paid, and he'll probably lose. Honestly, I mean, Anderson's just too big, too fast for Nick Diaz. I don't think Diaz can get that fight to the ground. And if he does, Anderson's actually shown himself that he can hang down there. You know, he's not going to submit you, but he sure as hell is going to make it tough for you to submit him. But, you know, the fans would get a fight, and you honestly would get both of them off their asses. Anderson's there, you know, because of injury, but Diaz is just there because he's playing, you know, a certain card in his negotiations wrong, in my opinion, but it would get him off his ass, it'd get him fighting, and that would be a good thing. Hopefully, you know, he'd start fighting guys in his weight class again. But I think it's a possibility, but I've just heard too many of these crazy fights, you know, that get talked about, and then eventually they don't happen.
And Nate, what's his future with the UFC? Is he still around? Is he just doing seminars?
He signed an 8-fight contract about, I want to say 18 months ago, prior to fighting Benson Henderson, if I'm not mistaken. So he's had 3 fights. That one, Josh Thompson, and Gray Maynard. This isn't the time to go in there and say, I want to get paid more, because he just signed an 8-fight contract that he was happy, had those big fights. The problem is his homeboy, Gilbert Melendez, he had that free agency run where he got courted by Bellator. Bellator put in a nice fight contract in front of him, and the UFC had to match because he's a big star. You know, he's got a name. He's a former champion at Strikeforce, top 10 guy for years. He's on ESPN, good-looking Latino kid. They're looking to break into Mexico. And I think the UFC thought, well, you know what, we're going to lose one of these from time to time, and this guy got us. And that got him the coaching stint. They got him pay-per-view, pay-per-view numbers. He got an incredible contract. There's a lot of pay-per-view numbers, you know, those cuts that they get, they only get them after you sell 250,000 pay-per-views or 500,000 pay-per-views. And he got a contract where I believe every fight card he's on is a pay-per-view, and the pay-per-view cuts that he gets are they get triggered a lot sooner than what other fighters get. He really, really did his homework, and he used the free agency period that he had to the best of his ability. So word trickles like that to the other guys. You know, Nate Diaz runs with 3 other guys, his brother, Jake Shields and Gilbert Melendez. And all those guys have had big fights and big contracts. And I think he looked back and said, man, I done fucked up. How do I get some of this loot? I know, I'll hold out. I'm a big name. They need me. They need superstars, a headline. And, you know, but the bottom line is it looks like that hasn't worked because the UFC's still throwing their shows. And they're offering him. They offered him Khabib Nurmagomedov, and they offered him a few other guys. He's turned them down, but he's just sitting on the sidelines while the UFC's growing, throwing shows, and I think eventually he's gonna have to say, all right, you got me. Who do I have to fight? Maybe after the 5th or 6th fight in his contract, he can go in there and really, really, land the big one, land the one that can change his life. But I think right now he's in a tough spot.
And what's the status of GSP at this point? Is he done?
He tore his knee in March after the anterior cruciate ligament, so it was on the other knee from the opposite knee of the one that he hurt a few years ago. He's been through it. He knows it's about a 9-month rehab, which means between March and the end of December, that's his focus. He already had the surgery. He's already rehabbing, but now he's got to get it strong enough so that he can start training if he ever wants to come back and fight again. But I believe that time off, and the fact that everything he sets his mind to, he does to the 10th degree, I think that'll make him hungry to fight mixed martial arts. And, this whole thing with the welterweight division will unfold because it's a bunch of killers in there, man, with McDonald and Lombard and Dong Hyun Kim and the other guys we mentioned, Brown and Lawler. So that's an exciting division that's going to play out, really, really good these next 12 to 18 months. And I could see GSP coming back maybe in the summer of 2015.
So Lombard's hurt, correct?
Yeah, he was supposed to fight Dong Hyun Kim in Macau at the end of August. Same card as Michael Bisping and Kung Lee. But he got hurt. And you know what? I didn't read what the injury was, but it didn't sound like one of those, like what I just described with GSP. I think he'll be able to lick his wounds and come back maybe on a future card later this year. So in steps Tyron Woodley, who laid an egg against Rory McDonald recently. He wants to erase that and get back in the mix, but he's jumping in against Dong Hyun Kim, and we'll see if maybe that gets him in the conversation again. He's not contending, I think, for a title for the next year or so because now he needs another 2-3 wins to erase the loss of McDonald.
It's amazing. I love having you on because you simplify everything for me. I don't have the time anymore to really follow it like I used to. I have so many fucking things on my plate, but sometimes I read the MMA Junkie articles. I do for the most part. That's the only stuff I read. And you simplify a lot of things for me when we talk, in our conversations. And when you call into the podcast. So I'm happy you took the time in today. I know you're fucking busy.
Yeah, man. Anytime you guys need me, I love it. You guys have a quality show. I go in there and check out some of the previous episodes, and I know you guys have definitely made a stamp, man. You guys are ranked high up there on iTunes, and you guys have been really, really kicking some ass.
We're trying.
So it's a pleasure, an honor to be on your guys' show.
No, we're trying. And like I said, when it comes to MMA, you're the fucking man, because I get confused. And then people hit me with fucking questions, and I don't know what to say to them. People hit me with stupid fucking MMA questions. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck's going on. I didn't even know about that fight. I can't even catch up anymore. There's so many fights. Bangor, Maine, San Antonio. I was confused on Saturday. I thought Latuna and Marquardt were fighting. They were the fucking card with... So that's why the 2-card weekends fucked me up completely. Because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, same night. One was in New Zealand, Marquardt and Tahuna, and then we had Cub Swanson versus Jeremy Stevens. That was good. If you can find it, you can get your hands on that one.
I watched it again last night.
You probably already know the result. Check it out.
No, I watched it again last night. Cub Swanson looked fucking tremendous. I watched that part when they're like, one more round. He's like, I got one more round left. He thought it was like the fucking second round, that kid. No. And Jeremy Stevens ain't no fucking joke. That was a good little fight. That was a really, really good little exciting fight.
It was, man. Cub was playing with fire a little bit there. He took a few of them right hands, and he got knocked down.
Yeah,
but
he got
right
down.
Back up, smiled at him, and said, hey, I'm not stopping. And he put on a show, that's for sure.
I got to tell you something, though, and we'll end with this. I got to tell you something that I think at 145, Jose Aldo is so ahead of the game. And I'm not saying nothing bad about Cub Swanson. I'm just saying when I watch Jose Aldo, he makes it look like everybody could do it.
Yeah.
That's what Jose, like Anderson Silva was one thing, GSP was one thing. I look at Jose Aldo and it scares the shit out of me sometimes because he makes it look so simple, and those leg kicks are just fucking beautiful. Talking about another soccer fucking guy with some fucking soccer kicks coming at you. I just, I'm not going to the fight in L.A. I never go to the L.A. cards because it's too much of a pain in the ass. But I'll definitely be watching, especially Jacare Masasi. And I don't know when I'm going to see you. I will definitely be in Vegas July 18th. So I'll definitely see you for that. MMA Junkie, I'll be in the studio. So hopefully I come down and fuck around with you fucking savages. How about that?
That'd be great, man. Let us know. And hopefully you change your mind about Staples Center because Mendez and Aldo is going to be a great fight. Masasi and Jacare is going to be a great fight. And there's a lot of MMA Junkie radio listeners in the LA area that I would love to see you guys. If you guys decide to come out.
We're doing a show that Friday night. I'm doing a show that Friday with Rogan. So. No. If anything, yeah, I'll do something. But I just hate going to those because I got to bring my wife and we got to get a babysitter and they're a fucking pain in the ass. Not because I got to bring my wife, just because I got to get a babysitter. So I just watch them at home and get a shrimp cocktail or some shit. But I love you, cocksucker. And I'm happy you called. All right, brother. Thank you very much for enlightening us.
Thank you very much, man. A lot of fun. And folks, tune into MMA Junkie throughout the week. We got you covered for this big international fight week this weekend. 2 cards back-to-back. Find yourself in Vegas. Give us a holler. We're at the Sportsbook at Mandalay Bay. We'd love to meet you.
And where can they follow you at, George?
My Twitter is at MMA Junkie George. So that's my Twitter handle. I have a Facebook and an Instagram. Those aren't hard to find. I always link up to 3 anyway. You take a picture and want to shoot to all of them. So thank you for allowing me to do that. And our show is 9 to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. You can find us at MMAJunkie.com/radio. And we have some big announcements coming up soon as well. So tune in. There'll be definitely more ways for you all to listen to our show. Thanks, guys, for allowing me to do that.
Thank you. We have a lot of MMA fans. I love you, George. We'll talk during
the
week.
Love you too, buddy.
All right, buddy.
All right, see you, Lee. All right.
Bye.
Yeah, I was really disturbed by the Chael Sonnen thing Saturday night. And then yesterday when I read that. And that's what I was getting at, people. And I hate to say this. I know people are going to take it wrong. A couple of years ago, Chael got in trouble, and he turned state's evidence. And right there, I knew. Like, you hate to judge somebody. The biggest thing your parents teach you when you're growing up is never to judge, As you become friends with somebody, they do different things, and you either could be their friend forever or you could not be their friends. When I was out there robbing and doing criminal shit, if Lee was my buddy and we were robbing together and Lee was cheating on his girlfriend or his wife, I would stop hanging out with Lee. Because I knew if you got arrested, Lee, you would rat me out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There was little things that I would look at people and go, I can't do that with that person. Because I know that if this happens, he's going to fucking do this. There's just little things that people do. When somebody turns state's evidence like Chael, it's never fucking good. And I love Chael, and I love what he does for the sport, and I love how hard he fights and everything. But these little fucking things, that first thing when he was talking about his wife and getting her pregnant and his family, and it made, he's so good at what he does, it made it seem like they were being hard on him. No. Rules are rules, man. And once you fucking break those little simple rules, there ain't no fucking coming back. And that's what we talk about here on the church. It's just fucking own your shit. You fuck up, man. I fuck up every fucking day. Every day I gotta go in there and look at my wife and go, you were right about that thing. And she'll go, I told you. You ever do that to your wife? You ever do that with Paula? Tell her she was right about something?
That, and then the worst one for me is my parents.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Especially because you don't want your parents to be right, and whenever they are, like to this day, I'll call my mom and be like, I'm sorry. God damn it.
It's rough. And if you came clean from the beginning and go, you know what? I do have a fucking problem with that, man. You're fucking right. People get angry. I used to always get angry when I was young. But then 3 days later, you go, you know what, man? I was angry because I was an asshole. The guy loves me and he was showing me love, and all he was trying to do was fucking, and that's something that's huge. And I wish Chael would just do that. quit the sport. You've done too. When he was making fun of Vanderlei Silva, I watched that episode of UFC Tonight. I watched that shit. I love all those shows. But I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, yeah, Vanderlei ran away. And then 3 days later, you come up and test fucking positive. Something's not right, guy. So that's what the moral of the story is. Let me give some shout outs today. We got a fucking great show today. We got Ray, Kara. Hey, Ray, happy birthday. Kara loves you, cocksucker. Nick Harvey, 27. Joshua Machowski, whatever your fucking name is. Gilly Seibin, Silly Seibin, whatever your fucking name is, trying to be cute with mushrooms. Ted Kabat, Dead Squad Nashville, and the rest of the Dead Squad family, and Scottish Connor. I love you, cocksucker. What's up with you, cocksucker? You're all quiet over there, staring into space. You're not even fucking high today.
No, I was just
ready for a gummy bear, cocksucker?
Sure.
Don't be bullshitting me. I'll stab you in the fucking lung.
No,
that's a nice shirt, Lee. I like that better than the stop sign look. That's a green with the yellow. That means go, but hesitate a little bit. That's what that fucking shirt means, cocksucker.
Well, I'm just going to play this because it's Monday. Okay.
Thank you, brother, for reminding me. It's a beautiful day to be alive. Get your shit together. I know we're running late. Who gives a fuck? It's Monday. It's a holiday week.
I want to be around.
Really?
Oh.
To pick
That
up
protein
the
shake didn't do
pieces
dick for me this morning.
when somebody breaks.
I've been on a banana kick. I've had a banana every day for like 2 weeks. I had one today before I came here, just quick.
I looked at a banana this morning. I go, I'm gonna have the protein shake. I'll eat the banana later with the fucking with the granola. But I got no fucking granola.
I mean, I put it on Twitter as a joke, but it truly happened. I hadn't bought a banana in so long that I just, because whenever you get at a restaurant, it's ripe. I forgot to check if it was ripe, and I bit into like a not ripe banana, and it tasted like dick. It tasted like grass.
Put that louder, cocksucker. What's a non-ripe banana?
When it's just green.
Oh, I like those.
Oh, I couldn't do it.
I don't like them when they're green.
Well, it wasn't totally good, but there was like too much green still.
Yeah, I don't like that yellow. I don't like black spots.
Oh no, black spots, yeah. Yeah, but it was too green.
That loves. It's a beautiful day to be alive, people. Get your shit together. Wake up. Salute the flag. It's 4th of July week. Somebody died for you this week, cocksucker. There's somebody with a bayonet in their fucking neck right now, laying there, and they died for you. Let's see. What's the story, Lee? You're sitting there all fucking depressed, cocksucker.
No, I've never been happier. I don't know.
When is your anniversary?
Next week, next Sunday.
And what are you doing with it?
Oh no, 2 weeks from Sunday. We're going to Newport Beach. We were trying to figure something out. Like we were gonna go. I didn't even know you were gonna be in San Jose. And we're like, maybe we'll go to San Francisco. We're gonna do that.
So not this Sunday, the 13th.
Right.
Are you going away Saturday night? You're gonna cut some hours. You're gonna do the whole thing.
Yeah. We're gonna do. I mean, we're gonna go. We're gonna spend money on a plane, and we don't like. We like doing simple things. She likes Thai food a lot, so we were going back and forth. And I just put into the computer best Thai food in Southern California at some place in Newport Beach. Got a decent nothing. We did. I like doing those deals where you don't know what hotel you're staying in until you book. So we got a pretty good hotel for a good rate, and we're gonna go down there and have fun for a couple nights.
So you're leaving on Saturday?
Yeah, or Friday.
And what's the Thai place? I never understood that Mexicans like in Thai food.
Oh, she loves it. She likes really spicy Thai food.
And what does she get?
Drunk noodles. That's her thing.
What's drunk noodles?
Just spicy noodles with beef and vegetables. What's wrong with that?
It's got curry in it?
No, I don't think so. No, just spicy noodles.
Coconut milk?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know how to make it.
What is wrong with Mexican people nowadays eating this shit? Between Paula with that, Felipe being a vegetarian. What is
the vegan would be hard, yeah. But no, I mean, it's spicy. But it's funny because I'm picking up a little bit of Spanish, and every time she talks to her mom about it, she just calls it China. And I'm like, it's not Chinese, it's Thai. She's like, she doesn't understand that.
She doesn't understand. They just break it down into Chino food. That's it. They don't give a fuck. Onnit! Let me tell you something. Like I said, last week I was on the Rogan podcast, and he really talked to me we spoke about Onnit. Onnit is not a mineral. Onnit products are not vitamins. Onnit products are optimization. They make you better. They make you fucking better, okay? Saturday, I did not want to work out. I did not want to work out, Lee, at all. I did the elliptical on Friday, bag. I was fucking tired. I was sore. But I know that soreness means that your body just needs blood to that area. Sometimes you wake up and you're not really sore, you're tight. That means you just stretch slightly. You don't want to tear the muscle, and just jump up and down a little bit and just move a little bit, and you'll see that you don't get sore. A lot of times my knee will be tight, and I'll just do the bicycle for 20 minutes, and also it won't be tight no more. But people confuse that shit. They go, oh, I'm sore, I can't work out, or I'm hurt. Fuck that shit. Give that area blood. You gotta give that fucking area blood. And that's what fucking Onnit. I took 2 of those shroom tacks, and I took a little baby pill on Saturday. I don't know why. A baby aspirin. You know, I either take them both or just one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Shroom Tech Sport, right?
Shroom Tech Sport. So I either take the baby aspirin, but if I go to jiu-jitsu, I get really scared, so I'll take the Shroom Tech Sport. For some reason, Saturday, I did what I had to do, and I took the Shroom Tech Sport and 2 baby aspirins, and I waited an hour. Oh, my God, Lee. Oh, my God. And I got to tell you something, Lee, and I wouldn't lie to you. I thought I was going to have a fucking heart attack because my wrist was hurt, so I wasn't doing any cleans.
Okay.
So I added cleans back the last 2 fucking weeks. The last week and a half, I've added cleans back. Lee, I did more on fucking Saturday with kettlebells than I did the last month because I usually just take the baby aspirin. Mm-hmm. Because they say if you do high reps of kettlebells, it's an assault on your fucking cardio system.
You were telling me it's not even that many reps. It's just
not that many reps. But here's the thing: that swimming burns the most calories, but they say the fucking kettlebell swings even burns more than swimming. So I wanted to see. Now with the 45-pound weight, I could just do like 12. I was doing 12 to 15 on Saturday. 12 to 15 reps with the 45, which is my heaviest weight.
How many sets do you do?
I do 5 sets.
Okay.
Of 10 to 15, 12 to 15. Then I did 5 sets of, well, I did like 6 sets of cleans. Then I did 3 sets of one-arm swings. And then I did 5 sets of 15 to 20 with the 35-pound.
Wow.
And let me tell you something, I never do that, Liam. I got no reason to lie to you. I never do those last 5. And I did them, and my fucking lung felt tremendous. I could feel the THC juice coming out of my lungs. I could sweat it. And I went upstairs, and I'm like, I'm going to be sore tomorrow. But I didn't take
Strongbow?
I didn't take the Advil that night. I stretched really good. And I felt that much better Saturday. I mean, I'm 50. I still feel little knocks and bolts. And today I feel a little tight. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do today. Today I might take a yoga class.
Okay.
There's an 11:45 yoga class. And I might take a yoga class. And if I'm up to it, I'll go to jiu-jitsu tonight. That's what I'm thinking of doing. But it was the Onnit Shroom Tech that made me do those last 5 sets. Not that it gives you all this energy. It's not like you drank a fucking Mountain Dew. It's just that you're like, I feel good. I could do more. Okay. And usually I get confused because when you get older, like you're 25 now, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And the next day you could just brush it off. But when you hit 35, you'll realize, you'll go, wow, I don't have the endurance I had when I was 25. What does that mean? That you can't play 10 basketball games? No. You could still play basketball games. You just don't recover as fast. You're a little bit more sore. Okay. From stretching afterward, I don't feel that sore, you know. And I didn't. So the Shroom Tech does work, is what I'm trying to say. It didn't give me the extra energy. It gave me the extra lung power, which is what I try to tell people with Shroom Tech. I don't want you to think that you're going to be jumping up and down and doing jumping jacks. That's not what it lets you do. It lets you roll one time a little more, you know. I only went to jiu-jitsu once last week. I went to the no-gi Monday last week, and it confused the fuck out of me, but I didn't take the Shroom Tech. But I've been stretching out lately, and it doesn't make me fucking sore no more. I don't even know why the fuck we're talking about this shit. This is what happens when I don't get high in the morning. Dollar Shave Club. Why are we fucking around with this still?
Whoa. Just for Onnit, it's church.
Church. Yeah, listen. Go to Onnit, see what they got that works for you. Start with fucking Alpha Brain. There's a money-back guarantee, and you don't even have to fucking return the product. If you don't believe what the fuck we're doing on it, start with Onnit. Start with Alpha Brain. From Alpha Brain, go to Shroom Tech. From Shroom Tech, go to fucking Hemp Protein. That's what I drank this morning. You know, the Hemp Protein shake. Maybe it didn't fill me up this morning. The Hemp Protein, the chocolate, the acai vanilla, tremendous fucking flavors. That's one thing Onnit does with their Hemp Protein powders. It's not going to taste chalky. It's not going to taste like fucking shit. Onnit Hemp Protein. The chocolate is fucking tremendous. Go, give it a shot. What do you got to lose? You're going to go spend money on dick this weekend anyway. Invest in you. Be a better you. Start with Alpha Brain. Try the Shroom Tech. They got kettlebells. They got fucking ropes. They got butt plugs. They got everything on it. Go to Onnit.com. What's the thing?
Church.
Again, Dollar Shave Club. Listen, you could spend thousands. You could spend thousands in a year on fucking razors. Do you need a razor with a flashlight? Do you need a razor with fucking new chucks, with swivels? You don't need none of that shit. All you need is 2 fucking blades to get you nice and smooth and to look good. Why are you dropping $20? Why are you fucking standing online at a fucking pharmacy wasting your time? Go to Dollar Shave Club, press what in the church and get the deal. Either $1 a month, $6 a month, or $9 a month, or get razors delivered right to your fucking door. You don't have to leave the house. Double razors, nice and sharp, tight, aloe strip. You pick the fucking price. $1, $9, or $6. Who's better than you? When do you have that? When can you make the fucking choice? Fuck Father's Day, fuck Mother's Day, fuck Christmas. You need to shave, and that's what we do here. We save your fucking money. Go to the fucking Dollar Shave Club box right now and press in
Church.
CHURCH, and get your fucking discount today. Am I lying, Lee?
You're not lying.
$1, $6, or $9. Number 2, who else are we talking about here today?
We're talking about EscapePodTank.com.
EscapePodTank.com. Why are we having this conversation? Everybody wants to float. Everybody wants to open their mind. You don't have time to go down there. Send one to your house. Why are you going to go down to some place and float around the fucking tank? People whack off in there. They go in there with rotten ass. You don't need that aggravation in your life. Order your own fucking tank. Call my man Jeremy on the 800 number. Go to Escape Pod Tank. They got financing terms are available. They can fucking finance you a fucking tub. You could be floating by next week in 85 pounds of Epsom salt, thinking to yourself, who's better than fucking me? Call Jeremy. Go to EscapePodTank.com. See what type of tubs they got. They got residential tubs. They got commercial tubs. They got industrial tubs. They got a tank. Just the tank model saves you $150 fucking dollars just for ordering. You understand me? They got 3 different fucking tubs. They'll deliver them to. Why do I keep saying tubs? It's tanks, Lee.
It's tanks.
Tanks. Say tubs. Don't say tubs. It's fucking tanks. What the fuck is wrong?
Plus, who has a tank in your house? That'd be good for girls coming over. Who has it? Yeah, no one has
and you
that.
could seal the motherfucker. So if the bitch ain't gonna suck your dick, you can just close it and leave it in there. Fuck her. 3 days later, you drop her off on the 170. Nobody will know fucking nothing. You understand me? Go to EscapePodTank.com. Pick a tank. Call my man Jeremy over at Escape Pod Tank. What's that?
He's always gonna answer.
He's got all the fucking answers, Jeremy. Financing, who could hook it up in your area. He'll take good care of you, all right? That's how we fucking roll. What's your fucking problem, cocksucker?
I don't know.
I'll
I'm all
put this
fired up.
e-cigarette up right in your fucking ear. You'll be deaf for a fucking month.
I got a... What's it? Disability. I'll get disability. That's good.
You got no fucking disability?
If you put an e-cigarette in my ear, yeah.
From who?
From you.
I can't give you disability.
Oh.
You got no fucking disability. You got to pay into that shit. Anyway, I got to tell you a very funny story. Lee fucked up, then we got to get out of here. So yesterday, I go to Facebook. I got a Facebook from some girl named Lori, whatever. I can't make people my friends on Facebook because there's too many people on there.
Okay.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck? It's like the day of noises. People drilling, people noising. So I look at the name and I go, wow, Lori Siegel. What the fuck? I know that name. And I go back to the picture and I go, oh my God. Listen, I had to sit in my room for 20 minutes and close the door because I thought of this person. I did one of the sickest fucking things ever with this girl. Sick. So, it's 84. It's like, no, it's, yes. It's the fall of 84. It's the winter of 84. When did Doug Flutie throw the pass against?
We'll find out.
Well, he played for Boston College. This is a fucked up story, dog.
84.
84 was November?
Let me check.
No, it was December. It was December of 84. Unfucking believable. So, I'm all fucked up, Lee. I'm getting coke from people. I owe everybody money. I'm doing drugs every night. It's a fucking nightmare, right? I go to this bar. I go to Tom and Corky's. And I'm hanging out, minding my own business. And this what is it?
It's in November.
November, okay. And this girl comes in, her name is Lori.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl had a fucking tremendous body. Tremendous. I mean, Lee, when I tell you this chick had a model's body. Her legs was something from another fucking planet. Her face was kind of fucked up. I'm no handsome guy either. So she had been dating this fucking dude that was a real jerk off. And I didn't like the guy at all. And then she started dating another guy that was a jerk off, and I don't like him either. You know, not that it mattered. I just didn't like her. I never really liked her, but she was what she was. She was fucking beautiful. And it's not that, I don't know why I didn't like her. I just had something didn't click. You can't like everybody, you know? So I'm sitting with my buddy Roger, Timmy's brother, and she comes over to the bar, and she's talking to us about doing blow. And she won't shut the fuck up. So Roger gives her some of his coke first. Now at this time, I'm fronting from people. I probably got like 10 different baggies on me of coke, right? I got it in my sock, I got it in my inside pocket, I got it in my jeans, I got it in my back pocket, and everything was for something different, you know? And she comes over and she's talking to us, and I guess Roger runs out of blow. I'm not paying attention to her. I think Roger wanted to end up fucking or whatever, so I'm not paying real attention to her. I'm just too fucked up to even make eye contact with the bitch. So Roger turns to me, because he's my buddy, and he goes, do you have another package on you? And I go for the wrong package. I give her a big fucking package, like 2 grams in there. I give it to Roger. I see Roger give it to her, and she takes off. I don't say nothing. This is like me giving you coke. You're my brother. Fuck it. Whatever happens, happens. If it's light, Lee will fucking take care of it. She comes back, gives me the package, and this goes on for an hour. She needs a bump, I give her the package. After one of the things, she comes back and she disappears for 20 minutes. And she comes back and I go, you got that package? She goes, I give it to Roger. So about 10 minutes later, I go, Roger, where's that package? Roger goes, I gave it to Lori. I go, where's fucking Lori? She said she gave it to you. She goes, she never gave it back to me. Right? I'm like, where's fucking Lori? I don't know. She left. I go outside to the front of the bar. It's 2:30 in the fucking morning, Lee. I can't find this broad. Lee, I had another ounce of blow on me. It wasn't about the fucking money. It wasn't about the blow. It was that this chick that I didn't like, that I was giving a free coke through my friend, took my fucking package. I find out that she's not dating none of those losers no more. That she's this guy, Lou Donato's fucking, that Danny Bianculo knows. Next time Danny calls in, we'll tell the story. Lou Donato, this guy that thinks he's a gangster, he's got a massage parlor in North Bergen. He would always, when we were kids, he would always go, if you guys want to work security, come to the massage parlor and I'll pay you. And then at the end of the night, he'd go, I got no cash. How about a blowjob? You're like, I need fucking money. I don't want a blowjob. I need fucking money. So they tell me that she's living at Louis Donato's house, that she's working as his fucking nanny, which means she's fucking Louis Donato. Lee, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to Louis Donato's house. I get to Louis Donato's house at 3:30 in the morning. Can you imagine somebody knocking on your door at 3:30 in the morning?
No.
I knock on Louis Donato's door at 3:30 in the morning. I go, Louis. He answers with a robe on, thinking he's like fucking the guy from Playboy.
Hugh Hefner.
Hugh Hefner. He answers the thing, and he's like, what's up, Coco? What are you doing here? I go, I got to talk to Lori. Something went down today. And he goes, what? And I go, it's between me and Lori. Let me just ask her a question. He goes, okay. Lori, come on up. This bitch comes up with a robe on, with a bikini underneath, with like a bra, a see-through bra, and like panties, whatever. And I look at her, and I forgot about the coke being taken. She looks at me, and she's like putting her fingers over her lips, and she goes outside. I go, Lori, what'd you do with the coke? And she's like, oh my God, it was so fucking good. I'm so sorry. And I go, Lori, I need that fucking coke back. And she's like, it's the coke I've been doing with Louis all night. And I go, are you fucking Louis? And she goes, well, I'm his nanny, and we end up sleeping together some nights, you know. I go, have you fucked him yet tonight? She goes, no. I go, good. You're fucking with me. Let's go. This is how crazy I was. This is how fucking crazy I was. So she goes back. I go, I don't give a fuck what you got to tell Louis. Tell Louis that you got to take a ride with me, but I want my fucking money back, or you're going to suck my dick. That you're not going to just take $200 from me just because you didn't fucking want it. I don't even know what went down. I don't even know if I asked her for a blowjob.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't attracted to her. But when I saw her with the fucking bikini, I was like, wait a second, this bitch is crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know that me and this girl went right back in the fucking house? And she's like, Louis, I have to take a ride with him. And Louis like, you're not fucking leaving this house. You're my fucking nanny. You got to get up. And she's like, Louis, knock it off. We've been doing blow. You've been trying to fuck me for the last hour. I just got to take a fucking ride with this guy. All right, she gets the rest of my Coke. As I'm walking up the stairs, I'm such a piece of shit. I look on top of the refrigerator, and there's a deposit bag. I think he had like a bar or something now. I just took that deposit bag, Lee. I just took it to go. And she didn't know. I put it under my arm, and she's like, what are you doing? I go, nothing. She goes, are you taking something? I go, no. We got to the fucking hotel. I paid cash for the hotel. I went inside the hotel room. I opened up the fucking blue bag in the bathroom. I told her I had to pee. And it was like $2,000, $1,500 in that fucking envelope. I took the fucking blue envelope. I lifted up the toilet. Not the toilet seat, but the toilet brim where the water floats in there.
Yeah.
And I put that fucking thing in there, and I closed it. And I'm going outside and asking, I go, Lori, what do I have to do to fuck you? And she's like, just guess the color of my panties. She was like, guess, I swear to God.
Jesus Christ.
And I go, red. And she goes, wrong, blue. You still won. And I remember that we did blow and fucked and sucked. Disgusting. I had dead dick. It was disgusting. I don't even remember. I just know that the sun was coming through and she was naked and I was naked. This is 1984. This is 30 fucking years ago. I was a mess. Lee, a fucking mess. And I remember waking up the next morning, and not even the next morning, waking up the next night. At 6 o'clock I woke up. The phone was ringing that we had to pay the fucking hotel bill. It was like a stinky hotel. And I remember looking at her, and she was fucking passed out. She had white shit all over her nose. The fucking hotel room, there was bottles of booze tipped over. She smoked cigarettes. I didn't smoke at that time. I would make her go outside. And I remember I never felt so bad about myself. I had nothing going on. I was a 21-year-old kid, Lee, with zero possibilities. Zero. It was fucking November, a month before. I remember the holidays were close. Because I remember I woke up to Doug Flutie going back and throwing that. The TV was on when we went to bed.
Okay.
And I still remember Doug Flutie going back and throwing the fucking touchdown. And me calling a cab. Because I don't know what I did with the car I had. I didn't know nothing. I know I had keys on me that belonged to something. I remember looking at her and her going, that was a fun night last night. And me going, yeah. And she goes, where are you going? I go, I'm going to get something to eat. I'll be back. And I left, and I never saw that girl again.
And she just friended you?
And she just friended me on Facebook 30 fucking years later.
Did she say anything?
Not at all. What can I fucking say, Lee? I didn't. Lee, I had forgotten all about her. Years later, I think somebody told me that something about her. That's it. That's the last time I heard of that woman. I was walking out of a hotel room. She was a mess. I was a fucking mess. I mean, I felt so bad. My wife kept saying, what's the matter? Your face looks weird. I go, you'd never understand. I didn't tell her the story about the sex and stuff.
Yeah.
I had to make up some fucking lie about that. I hadn't seen her in 30 fucking years. And I felt like calling her up going, what happened that night? What the fuck? I have never done anything like that in my life. Make a girl leave a house. She was already fucking with her. She was already... And Lou Donato, I know he was looking for me because years later I heard that I robbed the money. That you robbed Lou Donato's house. He sent the mafia looking for you or some shit. But it's just amazing. 30 fucking years later. That's it. That's all I got to say, people.
Facebook, bringing people together.
Bringing people together. That's why, brother, you never know who the fuck you're going to bump into. And I want to know how she even remembered. Because I didn't fucking remember. I don't remember that. And I'm going to call her today.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to friend her and ask her. I've been thinking about it all night. When I woke up this morning, I knew it. I got to find out what the fuck happened that night to her. She's got kids now. She got 2 kids.
Oh, good. Okay.
She lives in Florida. What do you think was going to happen to her?
I don't know. I mean, it's not... I don't know. What if she was waiting for you? She still does coke? I don't know. There's so many possibilities.
30 years later?
Yeah.
Lee, just because you put a nice shirt on, don't insult me, all right? For a second. Anyway, we're going to be at the San Jose Improv next weekend, the 10th through the 13th. That's always a fucking party. Lee will not be there. Your girlfriend will be looking for you, Melissa.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. That was fun last year.
That was very fun last year. Then Vegas, you're coming to Vegas for
Fuck
one
yeah.
night. And then I'll be at the Pioneer Club in Reno. That's the fucking 3 shows. 1 on Friday and 2 on Saturday. All this happens in motherfucking July. What do you think about that, cocksucker?
I love it.
And also, I got to give, just in case, Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus for all your fucking TV fucking needs, all right? I don't know how many times I got to fucking tell you people that Hulu Plus has got something for you. You know what they got for you? All the shows you fucking watch. That's what they got for you. From fucking Saturday Night Live to The Daily Show to fucking kid shows. And you know what it costs you? What's it cost you, Lee?
Cost you nothing for 2 weeks and then $7.99 a month.
$7.99 a fucking month. $7.99 a fucking month to get top-notch entertainment on all your fucking devices. Roku, the fucking iPad, the fucking pad. What else do you get it on?
The Xbox, PS, PlayStations, any connected TVs. Basically, if it has an internet connection and a screen, you're probably going to be able to use it.
Go HuluPlus.com. Go there, tell them we sent you. Go to the box and press in
Joey,
Joey, and get your 2 weeks subscription to Hulu Plus. All right? That's it. That's all we got today. It was a slow-paced show, but it is what it is. We'll be back Wednesday night. We're going to discover the roots of disco Wednesday fucking night, all right? You got anything to tell these cocksuckers, Lee?
I love them. Thanks for coming out to this. It was fun meeting everyone at the Ice House.
It was fun.
Yeah.
What about that black guy that we gave the half of Gummy to at the end? If you're watching or you're listening, give us a fucking shout out, cocksucker. I forgot what your name was. I want to give you a shout out. Did you forget what his name was?
No, I was gone at that point. And then the couple who at the last live podcast or the two ago gave me the Green Hornet on stage. They were there with the Green Hornet too. So it's
you didn't need that one, did you?
No. Well, neither did you. It was you had it. No, I had the half you gave me, and then the quarter, and then the espresso bean, which I don't know how bad that is.
How fucked up were you at night?
Pretty bad. With the half.
But if you noticed, the first half I gave you weren't fucked up.
I was fucked up, but I was still able to talk.
You weren't fucked up, though. See, you're building a resistance now.
No, yeah. The half and the gummy and then the
you always
espresso
tell me
bean.
you go home and go to sleep when the half. You can't. No more sleeping allowed. You're a general. You're a Jew general.
It affects me now. It's not like I'm going. I wish I was that kind of high where I could go and do stuff. I'm jealous. When I got home, thinking,
what if I locked your fucking doors out? Where would you sleep?
Huh?
You couldn't sleep. If I took your keys from you, you couldn't go home and sleep. You'd have to be forced to do things. And that's what I'm saying to you. You think I'd break your balls?
No, but I wouldn't start going and I'd sit on a bench like a homeless person.
I'd rather you do that than go home.
Oh my God.
I'd rather you sit on a homeless bench and watch 2 squirrels jump up and down at each other than fucking you go home. Because when you go home, you go to sleep. You get no sun. It's a beautiful day to be alive, Lee.
Yeah, I mean, well, when I'm high, I do go to sleep. But now I'm really starting to like the gym, so that's great.
You liking it?
Yeah, I hit an hour on the elliptical.
What's the class you're taking today? You taking a class today?
I haven't. I think there are classes.
Let's pick a class. Go.
I want to do spin. I've heard biking. I've heard.
What time is the spin class?
I don't know what time it is today.
We'll go look. Let's see. We'll wait.
We'll wait.
Go to fucking 24-hour fitness and see what time the North Hollywood spin class is. I'm gonna drive you today. I'm gonna go with you today. That's it. Now you pissed me off, cocksucker.
All right, let's find out.
You gonna go jump up and you're gonna wear your green and yellow shirt? What are you gonna do?
No, I have gym clothes and stuff. CL classes. Here we go.
Don't bullshit me, cocksucker.
Hold on, let me.
Don't bullshit me, cocksucker. I'll send Joshua Mikowski after you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God.
It's a little fart right there. Nobody got their feelings hurt. Oh yeah.
So the internet's acting up. Let's see.
What the fuck, Lee?
I'm trying to find it.
What the fuck, Lee?
Keep saying loading.
24-hour fitness. You're gonna go to this fucking class now. I love you, cocksuckers. It's a beautiful day to be alive. You're an American. Grab your dick, grab your gun, shoot somebody if you have your fucking doubts. But don't just fucking sit there. You gotta do something with yourself. You understand me? I love you guys. Have a great week. Fucking, we'll see you Wednesday night or Wednesday morning. We haven't decided yet. And keep your fucking fingers. You need all of them for the 4th of July. Stay black. I love you.
Now that the show's over, don't forget to sign up for your free trial of Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus lets you binge on thousands of hit shows anytime, anywhere on your TV, PC, smartphone, or tablet. Support this podcast and get an extended free trial of Hulu Plus when you go to huluplus.com/Joey or go to joeydiaz.net and click on the Hulu Plus banner. Don't forget to sign up for DollarShaveClub.com. Get high-quality razors sent to your door every month for a fraction of what you pay at retail. Now go to DollarShaveClub.com/church or just go to joeydiaz.net and click on the Dollar Shave Club banner. And as we mentioned, the show is sponsored by Onnit. Go there for all your supplements. And I don't know, Joe, what did you say? It's improving. What did it's
optimization.